Ron Bennington, Fez Watling. It's the best of Ron and Fez.
Fez, here's an email we got from our friend Paranoid. I guess he's at a crossroads. This is what he wants to know. And Dave, why don't you sit in for a while?
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like we need to make it up to you.
Thank you.
I guess there's something happening in his life right now. So he says, if given the chance, would you hook up with a married woman whose husband was fighting in Iraq? That's the dilemma he finds himself in right now. Fez?
No, you should not hook up with a married woman whose husband is fighting in Iraq.
All right, hold on. Let me change this up so that you would be able to answer it. If there was a guy fighting in Iraq, would you fuck their brother?
No.
Why? It's their brother. It has nothing to do with them. Dave, what about for you?
I would try to abstain, but if she came on to me...
She's getting banged.
I might have to. Right. But again, I would try to abstain because I do support the soldiers.
Earl, what about you?
Absolutely not. No way.
What about this? The guy will never find out about it. He's never going to know.
Oh, then yeah. I mean, you have to.
Your feeling is you're more afraid of being caught than doing something against a guy.
No, I wouldn't want him to feel like to know what happened and to feel bad. I want soldiers to feel good.
All right, good point. Earl, what about you?
Still, absolutely not. Because
so would you ever be with a married woman?
No.
You sit next to Fez. You and Fez are out of this thing because you can't even discuss it. So it doesn't matter whether the guy was in Iraq or a milkman.
It just always ends badly, and
not necessarily. I can look you in the eye, Earl, and tell you that it's not 100%. Are you playing with fire? Yes. You know who else plays with fire? Chefs. So things can go well. Things can happen well. Let me check with Bronx Johnny. Because the point here, it has to be, the morality of whether the guy's in Iraq or not. Not, in your case, would you sleep with a married woman? Or Fez's case, would you sleep with a woman? We have to move this into the slice that works. What about for you, Johnny?
I couldn't touch nobody's chick, man.
At any time?
Nah, that's
okay,
wrong.
You move over, sit at the gay and abstinence table right now.
I do find the more upsetting thing is that the guy's over in a foreign country fighting a war. He may not come home, and this is what his wife is doing. More
upsetting than you keeping a hard-on inside a woman? Because I think that's the part that's throwing you.
1,000 miles away, he would probably, in the deepest part of his heart...
If it's 1,000 miles away, he would drown. He's much farther away than that. Tony Atlas.
Tens of thousands of miles away... probably a part of him wants his wife to get some pleasure. I mean, she shouldn't suffer. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, she's also a person. She's able to make her own decisions.
Yeah.
What does their marriage have to do with you is one question. Now, if you're saying I couldn't sleep with a soldier, could you sleep with a cop's wife? Could you sleep with an astronaut? Oh, this guy is going up into space, and you're banging her on the ground. At that point... your problem is you just don't want to get involved with another couple. And that's a whole different story all the way around. This is really people that think that married women can make their own decisions, but unless that guy's in Iraq. Because then you feel like you're going against the home team.
That's true.
Let me ask you this, Earl. Could you sleep with an Iraqi insurgent's wife?
No. I just don't screw around with married women.
Or any women. Why did you say married? Why didn't you say any women? Here is Kevin. Kevin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, Dave's full of shit. He's scared of a homeless guy that freaking stole his coat from him, more or less cranking a soldier's wife.
This is why it's very difficult to have a round table with the gang that we have now. A, Dave won't stand up to anyone. B, Earl's a lonely guy. And C, Fez... that's really no one's business, and I don't even think it's open for discussion.
Thank you, Ronnie.
It's not like the soldier's tens of thousands of miles away. He's not going to find out.
That's too far.
Why
you got him in China?
Someplace in the middle. But he's not going to find out. I mean, if the soldier...
If you know, there's a good chance he's not going to find out.
Yeah, definitely. If the soldier is the next town over, right, I am not going to touch that woman with a 10-foot pole.
What about this? Would you sleep with her, but keep CNN on so that you could see, like, just out of the corner of your eye, some of the problems going on in Iraq? Here is Scott. Scott, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, the town I lived in when I got out of the Air Force, I lived next to an Air Force base, and when they went to Iraq the first time, a lot of pussy. A lot of great garage sales, too. I got some really good stereo equipment. And, I mean, shit, the bitches were going to leave them anyway.
So your point is these women are probably, if they're going to sell off their guys' stuff, and if they're going to sleep around, who are you to say? Who are you to say no at this point?
Yeah, right. I mean, they're going to leave them anyway. So,
yeah.
If you fuck them, maybe they're probably sticking around maybe a little bit longer for them.
So you feel like you're actually helping the cause. Interesting point. 866 Ron Zero Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Here's Travis. Travis, you're on Ron and Fez. Go ahead, Travis.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, no, this is Nick.
All right, go ahead, Nick.
I met you guys in D.C. when you came down.
What can we do for you, Nick?
Iraq. I had just come home from Iraq.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Dave.
Yes.
When I was in Iraq, the girl I was coming home to marry slept with another guy. So if you're so quick to do it, I'd love to meet you and take out what I feel about the scumbags like you.
Interesting point. What he's trying to say,
Nick, don't take it personal.
No, he is taking it personal.
Don't take it personally, Nick. I don't know you, pal.
It happened to him personally.
Here's what Nick is saying: that you don't have to just worry about the one soldier now. Now you have to worry about all of them.
Is it too late to change my answer?
No.
All right, fine. Then I stick by my answer.
Nick, let me just tell you this. Here we are at 57th and 6th. You are always welcome to come by and beat him up for what happened with that backdoor Johnny. Because as far as I'm concerned, it could have been Dave.
Oh, it was. As far as I'm concerned, it was.
I know for a fact it was Dave.
I've been in D.C. once, Nick. No, before you get a little too hot-headed here.
Did you have Friendy out, Big Chiefs? Did that happen?
Yeah, but
Private Friendy.
Friendy was in my palm. That's all. At that beautiful hotel that we went to.
I think, go ahead, Nick.
What Pink Floyd album do you want played at your funeral?
Oh, that's nice.
Wish you were here,
Yeah.
I guess, because that makes a lot of
Actually, it's
sentimental.
one of the few I can really stand. All right, thank you very much, Nick.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Boy, he was a little...
Here's Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you?
Good. I'm a Marine. I served in the first Gulf War. The rule of thumb is you can bang them in the ass, and you can drop a load down the throat, but no pugnani.
All right, so... That, you know what? Now we're at some kind of place where everybody can get along.
I can live by those rules. If it's...
I thought you didn't do it in the can.
I've wanted to.
Yeah.
It can't happen for me, though.
Why not?
She won't allow it. But, if I can do it perhaps with one of our heroes, American soldiers' wives.
Oh, you just said heroes. I get very nervous, because you're not going to bang a Marine in the ass.
No.
Here is Nate. Nate, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, boys.
Yeah.
What if the soldier is behind enemy lines like a TV repairman? He's not fighting for his life out there. He's just hanging out on a little vacation in the Mideast.
All right, so what you really want to know, that if the guy's in the rear with the gear, yes, his wife gets banged. If he's literally on the front lines, what if he's been wounded? No, don't sleep with his wife.
Exactly. You got to have a little bit of morals about it. Some of them are free game.
I say you got to get a Purple Heart before you can 100% assure that nobody else will do this.
If you're wounded, the wife is going to need to be pleased by someone. I'm looking out for your wife.
You're not the one who's going to please anybody, friendy. It ain't going to happen. Yesterday he told me, he told me this in confidence, but I think I'm going to just put it out there for the world. He can't use a condom because the minute he attempts to put it on, he goes completely soft.
I think my penis is allergic.
Yeah.
To I've tried the rubber, I've tried latex.
So that's why West Side's on the pill.
Yes, because instant softy, and it's not fun.
Mark, you're on Ron and Fez.
I'm here to defend Dave. If Dave has a chance in hell to get pussy, he's got to take it. I mean, come on, look at him.
You just got to go for it every time.
It's an excellent point.
Yeah.
Whether it's soldier pussy or not.
And I'm going to tell you, my rule of thumb, Earl, has been it's a little bit gay to turn down women. Any woman.
I just think it's more trouble than it's worth, and it always ends badly.
What if her husband was in Iraq, but it was Laura Bush, and he was just over there to hand out turkey? Would you do it then?
I will not mess with married women. It's just
not
bad
even
news.
Laura Bush.
Would you stop saying married and just say any woman? Because you haven't been with a woman since I've known you, and that's 6 years.
That's not necessarily true either.
It is true.
That is definitely not true.
Tell me a time I've seen you with a date.
Well, you haven't. No.
Thank you. No further questions. You may step down.
But
you may step down, sir.
Married women are very hot. When I was 16, I learned through the little town gossip.
All right, let me guess. You're away for a summer, in 1942. You and your friend would be obsessed with sex, and then finally, when the woman found out that her husband died, she had sex with you on the dunes.
No, I mean, somewhat close. She lived across the street, and I always thought she was admiring me when I would mow the lawn with my shirt off.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
What?
The reflection.
So what happened,
I
Beaker?
found out that her husband had left, and so I got drunk one night, and about 2 o'clock in the morning, I went across the street and kept ringing the doorbell, thinking this was her chance for me and her to have sex. And for a half an hour of ringing the doorbell straight, she didn't answer. Finally, at like 2:30, 2:35, she came down and was like, if you don't get off my fucking porch, Dave, I'm calling the cops. And that was it.
So that was your romantic 16-year-old story.
The non-graduate.
You went over to a neighbor's house, shit on the front step, and ran. That's your way of saying,
no, I
had an experience.
They're very alluring.
Yeah. Blue Balls, you're on Ron and Fez. How are you, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good.
You know, I think it's every man's civic duty if a guy's girlfriend or wife wants to get down. You fuck that bitch and expose her for the little whore that she is. It's your job to give that man a chance to get free from that.
All right, good point. What he's saying is you are exposing her for what she is.
So he's saying, what is this soldier coming back to anyway?
Well, what did he leave in the first place? If you want to know the truth, Fez. Everyone is what they are. That's their nature. Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
I just want to say, in the first Bush presidency, I went over to on a roofing crew to Hinesville, Georgia, and Fort Stewart during what they call Desert Shield. They first sent the troops out there, and them guys, they were all gone for about 30 days when we came to town, and we could walk in any bar and walk out within 15 minutes where the crew was all horned up. I mean, 30 days they didn't have a man in town, and they were all ready, and
so this is actually soldiers banging other soldiers' wives.
I wasn't a soldier.
Oh, you're just a guy hanging around.
Yeah, I was on a roofing crew that we came into town.
Yeah.
And but I didn't feel any remorse about it at first. But one night this chick took me home. Woke up the next morning, and all around the whole room there's pictures, of them in heart-shaped silhouettes and stuff. He loves her, she loves him, all this garbage.
That's so fucking hot.
That felt like a
I'm
real
sorry,
piece of
maybe
trash.
I'm the only one who thinks this way. But now he brought up a word I never understood. Remorse. What exactly is that?
Remorse.
What is this, the remorse?
Remorse is when you do something and then you feel bad about it later. Like you
like
feel
is it like being hungry?
No, it's not like being hungry where you want more.
Because I have felt that. And that's rough.
This is where you feel sorry for something you did that, in hindsight, you feel like you shouldn't have done morally. Like he felt bad for sleeping with the soldier's wife when he was done.
You lost me.
How can I explain this?
All right, you didn't get caught, right?
No, you didn't.
There's no repercussions.
No one's after you.
And yet you feel bad.
Yes, you feel bad because it's something that you morally shouldn't have done.
Huh. But nothing happened.
No, nothing
happened. So why
happened.
would you feel something if nothing happened? What makes you feel this way?
It's your conscience.
You got me again. You got me again.
That little voice that tells you right and wrong, and after the fact, it's telling you wrong.
Listen to Nutsy. He's hearing little voices. What are you hearing, son of Sam? What's the dog telling you to do? Do you really hear a little voice?
You hear something in the back of your head saying...
What?
Yes.
What the fuck are you saying? You hear someone else in your head telling you things.
It's your own voice, but it's telling you, it's a gnawing feeling telling you shouldn't be doing this.
Hello, Fez.
It's your own voice with a higher register.
Yeah, I don't even understand that at all. I would honestly think I was insane if I was you, Fez.
But that's remorse.
Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how you doing, Ronnie? You guys are a trip. I'll tell you what there, Dave. If you did get caught, you can't even stand up to a bum. Remember the Fort Bragg murder? Something like that would happen. It'd be really easy to get away with murder. You come back with post-combat stress and just claim you're nuts.
Oh, yeah. If I'm sitting on a jury and a guy came back from Iraq and he said I came home and some redheaded pasty guy was banging my chick, so I beat him to death with a shoehorn, I would have a very difficult time saying, yeah, send him to jail. I just have to say, go ahead. Maybe he's hearing a crazy little voice in his head. Send him to the nut hut for a while.
I don't think that's going to fly in court. I really don't.
Well, you'll already be dead. What's the difference to you?
And let's, again, I haven't banged a wife yet, is all I'm saying.
But anyone, really.
Yeah,
when you think
right,
about,
exactly.
You've been with one,
2 or 3.
Cook's group. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, boys?
Hey.
Hey, I got to call out Earl on this one, man. I've never seen Earl in a picture or live or anything, but I'm kind of questioning if he's even black. I mean, the guy, he knows nothing about sports.
He
listens
true.
to rock and roll, and he won't sleep with another man's wife. He's going to have to prove it to me.
I'm going to tell you this, and you're not going to believe it from the radio. Earl is black as soot.
No way.
Yes. You may be the blackest black guy I've ever seen in my life, Earl. And yet you do not share anything with the community. If anything, you're anti-black.
I am hardly anti-black.
You're Uncle Ruckus. If I look at you, Earl told me the other day that the white man invented trees. I go, stop it, Earl. You are just being crazy now.
This whole deal of me, I love sports. I happen to have a brother.
I don't love sports. You don't follow sports.
Bronx Giant and I were just observing that whenever he tries like a waste paper basket, paper free throw shot, it's fucking 2 feet to the right. He doesn't even hit the rim.
That's because I'm not even looking. I just toss it.
Interesting.
You don't have to cover for him anymore, Eastside Dave.
Interesting, Uncle Ruckus. Here's David. You're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, how y'all guys doing today?
It's really none of your business, Dave. What can we do for you?
I hear you, man. Hey, I'm retired from the military. I'm a lieutenant commander in the U.S. Navy. The military has a new policy kind of thing going on. When in fact, I think it went in effect about 10 years ago now.
Okay.
And the reason it went in effect, if you guys can remember, there's been a whole lot of people coming home from like the Navy that went out on a 6-month med cruise, come home, the wife was 3 months pregnant, and they killed everybody in the house.
Sure.
And that's happened more than once. So what's going on now is it was primarily started by the ladies' auxiliary leagues and the different branches. If your husband goes off to war on a med cruise or something to where they're going to be away from home for a while, if they get any kind of sense at all that there may be some infidelity,
right,
they can report this to usually XO or something of a base, and word will get back to like if you was in the service, your CO, and what they would do is they would either send you back home or not tell you. And if you'll notice, Ron, when the troops come back home, a lot of times, instead of flying straight to their home base with everybody, they'll usually fly within 200 or 300 miles away, and they'll have what they like a debriefing period of a few days.
Settle in for a little bit, yeah.
Right. And, let's say there's a soldier or a sailor that this has happened to. They'll call him to the side and let him know about it and give him a cooling off period. That way he don't go home with his M16 or Beretta or whatever and kill everybody.
Do they also try to watch the way these people are interacting? Do they, keep an eye? Yeah.
Yes, they do. If you live on base, and a big one is like Army bases, because the Army has people all over the world living in bases that have bars inside of the bases, and a lot of people frequent outside of the bars, outside of the military life. And like the gentleman that called on earlier, he was an outside contractor working for the government.
Right.
This stuff happens all the time. And another thing that's in this little clause, if this happens to a soldier or a sailor, and they go home and they have time to work things out, if they do not work it out, it's over for the spouse that that committed the infidelity. I mean, they leave with nothing.
They're just gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and
yeah, because that's it would be her against the U.S. military, basically.
So, yeah, basically. But things like
shame.
this happen. Yeah, we're all human. People fuck up.
Yeah.
People make mistakes. People weren't hugged enough as kids.
Right.
People got raped when they was kids. People are going to fuck up.
Yeah.
But you got to use common sense.
Me.
And I love your show.
Thank you. All right, thank you, my friend. 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. I mean, when you really think about this, because, you know, when you're saying soldier, you have one image in your head, but remember, a lot of these guys, 18, 19 years old, here, if they work with us, they would be called the kids. They wouldn't be given any real responsibilities. It would be, you know, hey, does Fez have water? Do you need to go get the guy's lunch? Don't forget to, you know. There, you take these same guys, you teach them to kill, and then they're kind of in the same bad relationship that they would be having now, you know, with 18 or 19-year-old girls. Obviously, mistakes could be made, except for now we've trained one of these young people to go off, to know how to kill. So it's a pretty scary situation.
It seems like it would be natural instinct. If you see a guy, if you know a guy's been in your home and has violated your private space, that's going to be the instinct to go after him.
What if it didn't happen at the house? What if it happened in a motel?
But still.
So you have to think of this, Fez. If you don't fuck it, right?
Right.
What's that make you? What does that make you?
Patriotic?
You just did pantomime.
It
but
makes you
Fez, that's a different thing because you wouldn't fuck the milkman's wife, so you can't really go out and say that you're a better patriot than Dave is because something isn't in your nature and it's in his nature.
What if you could just bang the wife? Okay, you're taking care.
What if you jacked off on her? Is that so awful?
No. And you're just doing it, 18, 19-year-old girl, you're taking care of her, and then you say to her, as soon as your husband comes home, I'm out of here.
Everybody does that all the time, I would think.
Okay, well, what's wrong with that? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm taking care of your wife in that sense.
No, you can't act like you're doing a good thing for anyone else.
You just said she's going to be 18 or 19.
Right.
I'm a little bit older at this point. I can
no, but you're not. You cannot act like that. You're only in it for one situation, and so is she. When that guy comes home, you would be out of there anyway. Whether he did that or whether he was working for, FedEx. Doesn't matter to you. Don't act like you're going around doing a good thing.
He acts like he's part of the USO.
But see, my thing is this. If an adult makes a decision for herself, who the fuck are you to act like you're above it? You know what I mean? Now, you could act like, I don't want to be with that person. But what goes on in their marriage, what's that really got to do with you? You don't know how they are at home. Everybody guesses that everybody's like, leave it to Bieber's parents. People have all different kinds of marriages.
It's true. I mean, people are human beings, and if people
are human beings. This is the fucking things that you're going to say into a microphone. And this is your reason for being on the air.
And
dogs are canines.
Okay.
Here's Big Old Time. Big Old Time. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron and Fez.
Yeah. How are you, buddy?
I was just wondering if you switched the whole deal around and say you had the man at home and his wife went over there.
That happens too, yeah.
I mean, he's at home.
All right, Fez, that would be yours. The wife is over.
Right.
The man goes to a bar. Would you?
I would be so tempted, but I wouldn't do it to the woman that's serving overseas.
But you're acting like you are somehow, it's a 3-person marriage. That you know what they want and what they don't want. You're above it all.
So I should just take the the person's word that it's okay with the person that's overseas?
What other reason would you have for it? I caught The View a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
This fucking, who's the Republican chick on there?
Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
She's married to, and I'm going to call him an NFL quarterback, but you should take a snap before you get that. She claims that in their marriage, an intimate conversation between a man and a woman, other than who you're married to, is cheating. Going out to lunch, getting into a deep conversation with anyone of the opposite sex, they view as cheating.
See, I don't agree with that.
But exactly. So would you have a conversation with that woman?
Yes, I would have a conversation with her.
You cheated on that marriage, though. You don't feel any responsibility for that?
If I knew that was how their marriage was, I would feel responsibility for it.
So if you knew that this guy said this woman can't go out and talk to anyone, you wouldn't talk to her.
I would probably still talk. I just want to be honest. I would still talk to her.
But you've been a part of them cheating on each other. The thing is, you don't respect their version of cheating.
Right, yeah.
So you're still, this is all about you, is my point. It's really always about what you think is the intentions, not what the other guy is. Yet when you sit back and do this other one, and I'm not just busting you because I know you wouldn't do it anyway. I'm just saying society, you, me, everybody. You take this thing that somehow you've done something wonderful. I have done something terrific for my country because I didn't bang this woman. You probably wouldn't bang her anyway. That's my point. You or Earl or anyone else. So before you feel overly superior that somehow you've given a gift to the United States military, it's already out of your nature. Dave, on the other hand, he lives like a weasel, a ferret. He runs around picking at scraps where he can. Of course he's going to fucking do it, because that's his nature. This guy, 16 years old, drunk, jacking off on his neighbor, a divorcee neighbor's front door at 2:30 in the morning. Why? Why does he do that, Fez?
He can't help himself.
He can't help himself. Thank you.
I think if we learn more about that story, too, we'll find out it was even an aunt, not just a neighbor.
There was no relation.
If that was a maternal aunt, seriously, you're off the show.
There was no relation.
I'm going to check. And if that was your mom's sister...
You can call my mom.
No, I don't want to. All right, here's the man who started this firestorm. You could hear his show, Fezzi, at the Cosmic Circus.
TheCosmicCircus.com.
Paranoid. Hey, Perry.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I love this topic.
Of course, you made it up. Of course you love it.
If there's a girl here, right, and she's asked, like the soldiers screwing around on her in Iraq, like fucking chicks out that way.
Yeah.
Is she a bitch if she doesn't accept that, or should she be like, do what you have to do over there?
My only feeling, and I don't think these guys are getting a lot of tail in Iraq. You know what I mean? We're not in the Far East. This is an unglamorous place to fight a war. That's why I really feel bad about these guys. There's no nightlife whatsoever. I would have rather we invaded Brazil and given our soldiers some kind of an interesting nightlife for themselves. Now, my thing is, in that marriage, that woman, I would say, from my point of view, she should let him do whatever he has to do to get by. Whatever stress reliever. I know I'm in the far minority there. A little more liberal than you guys when it comes
to that. But if she should let him do whatever he could, then he has to let her.
That would be between them two. I'm just saying, whatever their marriage is, but I don't sit here and act like I'm superior, particularly when I'm looking around with three guys that aren't married who think they know everything about married life. Most of them are past the age. Only you are on the brink of the age, Dave, where if you're not married, I start to gossip. If you guys aren't in the room, I start to gossip with my friends. I'm looking straight at you, Earl.
Well, I'm not. I've just never found, the right person yet.
Sure you haven't. The right person. He doesn't even say woman.
No.
Person means, they may or may not have a dick. Go ahead, Perry. Your point is, you're banging some soldier's wife.
No, actually, I'm not even in the situation. I was just wondering, we're all becoming really immune to this war, and I was just wondering, if that came up, how would you react?
It's not a glorious war, that's for sure. And in terms of the general public. The public isn't enamored. It's not even making a TV coverage anymore. Somebody else's war is on TV.
Oh, it started out strong enough with embedded reporters and cable news networks with just walls of pictures of soldiers that are serving overseas. It went away really quick.
Yeah, and you hear the public is so against the war, but why aren't they in the streets? Why aren't they protesting like they did in the 60s?
It's an apathetic society that we live in. It really is. It doesn't mean people are for and against a lot of things, but don't necessarily get out there or believe in protesting, most of the people in this country don't even believe in politics. They have an anti-political bent all the way around. And, somewhat in their defense is because we've been fucked over so many times.
It's a crazy world we live in, isn't it, fellas?
It is. Thanks for your little topic, Perry.
Bye,
Good luck banging that soldier's wife. 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. I never believe anyone if they come to me with some, thing hypothetical. Let's say you found a wallet. And there was a lot of money in that wallet. Yeah, okay. Where's the wallet? Just, first of all, show me the wallet before we go on with this. Fez, here's your best friend, the Radio Shark. Hey, Shark.
Well, it really depends on what war we're talking about because there's conditions. Because if this guy is still off fighting the Korean War, I got to say hell no. Now you go to the Vietnam War, it's pretty iffy.
Yeah.
That's if she's got money.
All right.
The Gulf War, maybe a couple of one-night stands, but I'm looking for the door. But the Iraqi conflict, I'm in like Flint, because you know I'm a...
There he goes.
No
The
fade
voice
out
of a nation. No,
he doesn't believe it's fading
well,
out.
He doesn't have a fade out. I don't know what he does over there. All right, he gave a good point, Fez. You're a Doors fan,
right?
Earl, Doors fan?
Yes.
Backdoor man. He eats more chicken than any man ever seen. Sometimes the radio shark is the only one who can put things into perspective. He's the only one that can come up with it. Here's Will. Will, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man, let me tell you, if you think those guys over there aren't getting any ass, y'all are dead wrong. Absolutely dead wrong.
I don't think they're getting it from fucking Iraqi women. I mean, maybe when they're on leave in Germany or something, but
No, man, they go down, when they get their little furloughs, man, they're like 2-week furloughs. If they don't come home, a lot of guys go down to Dubai. And that's where they're getting their shit at, in Dubai.
All right, see, I didn't know that.
I didn't know they could move so freely over there.
Well, I don't think they're moving around freely. He's saying they're being moved over, to Dubai.
I think there's also
the guy's driving around in tanks and shit and rolling it over.
Isn't there also a record number of female soldiers over there? So maybe, they're connecting that way.
Banging each other.
Yeah.
But see, this always kills me. Now you're looking for some kind of moral out for yourself. Like, well, he could be, so I should be. In other words, you're still trying to lie to yourself, Dave.
You need sexual gratification. I think that's the main thing. And I'm all for the soldiers banging the Iraqis and nurses, the whatever, women are over there for America.
Nurses?
The women for America are nurses or whatever, chefs. And then...
Again, back to chefs. Everything was sex to you takes back to fucking chefs.
Everybody deserves to get off.
All right, so what is it, Cookie? So what's your point?
My point is everybody deserves to get off.
But you think that you would have dated more than just 3 times.
No, but I spank it quite a bit.
So what's stopping you now? Not here, I mean.
He just pointed to Friendly.
All right, he calls it that. There's no reason for you to.
Thank you, Captain.
Seriously. Captain and Friendly. That's the fucking team that somehow Earl and I have to beat every day.
I think it's catching on.
Seriously, you are. Captain and Friendly. Stuart, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to defend the position of the guys that are going after these women. I've been with like 5 or 6 married women, a bunch of other women that have been either engaged or had boyfriends. I have never once felt bad about it. Because if these little whores are going to go out and fuck me, that means they were going to go out and find somebody to fuck, so I might as well be the one that's getting the fun.
All right, see, there's that term again, remorse.
It's when you feel bad after doing something.
Because you got caught, I guess.
No, you don't even have to get caught to feel remorse.
Then why would you feel bad?
Because you feel afterwards you feel it's something you shouldn't have done. That it was the wrong thing to do.
All right, I guess. Here's Sam. Sam, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, that whole regret, remorse thing, that's a pussy emotion. If you're going to do something, you got to own up to it, my story's not about soldiers, but, I own a small business. I was looking for an employee. Rather than do the whole, ad thing, interview thing, I started asking friends if they could recommend somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of my buddies recommended his 19-year-old girlfriend.
He fucked up.
I'm married. I got kids. One thing leads to another. I'm currently fucking a 19-year-old girlfriend of one of my friends.
He couldn't wait to say that out loud. He was dying. I am currently fucking a 19-year-old girl.
I had the feeling no matter what topic we were discussing, this call still would have come in so we could say it.
I was going to say I have my own radio show, but that sounds like shit right now. Sounds like nothing.
I feel like getting on top of a mountain and screaming
Just make sure you don't say it in your
sleep. A 19-year-old girl.
Just make sure you don't say it in your sleep. I'm fucking a 19-year-old girl. What? What did you say? All right, so are you a little worried about getting caught, though? Would your wife go off?
You know what? I am. I know I'm playing with fire. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not happy with my relationship, and that's probably why I'm doing what I'm doing. But you know, it's so worth every little bit.
Thank you for admitting it. Thank you for fucking admitting it, because everyone always says, nothing is worth running. Yeah, sure it's not. That's a fucking lie. All right, thank you very much.
She's such a hot little piece of ass.
You know what? For once, I feel like a caller's telling me the truth. For once, I just feel like the guy couldn't be more honest.
He's opposite of remorse that I've been trying to explain to you. He's pure glee.
I'm telling you, Fez, that this remorse thing that you're talking about is just some morality code that people set up that they can't live on. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bullshit Christian pushed value on people.
Yeah, and it's just like, for some reason, there's some way to live that I can't make, and blah, blah, blah. And I think I got to go with the pussy angle on it. I really do. All right, thanks a lot. See you later,
All right.
Tim.
Thanks, fellas.
No, it doesn't mean that you go around and fucking do, anything. But the thing is, you wouldn't do these things unless you wanted to. Why can't you own up to it? Why can't you say, here's why I did it, and this is the reason why?
That's where the remorse comes in, where people get angry at themselves for wanting to do it.
Well, how does that even make sense? How does that even fucking slightly make sense? I mean, basically, you're looking at guys that live in the closet or don't take a fucking shot or married someone that they're fucking lying to in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're married to somebody who you can't even tell them who you are. You can't say, this is who the fuck I am. This is how ashamed I am of what I do in my life. And that your fucking marriage is a lie. Doesn't mean what you did is probably so horrible, but the fact is you are somebody who doesn't accept you, and you don't accept yourself because you're living by somebody else's rules. I'd rather go through life like Dave, jacking off in the fucking Statue of Liberty and being able to live with it.
Can't you have a strong marriage and still, bang a chick on the side? I mean,
I think you can,
that's what I'm saying.
But at some point, you and that woman have to say to each other, here's the way the world works.
Right.
You know?
So she has to be cognizant of your actions.
It's between you and her. You know what I'm saying? It's the way you two feel together. Some people don't like to say things, don't like to be blunt with each other, but they know what each other are up to.
Her attitude could be that she doesn't want to know. That's her part of the relationship.
Who knows? Right. I'm not going to sit and try to guess and go, here's the way to do it. What always fucking cracks me up is when people act like because something works for them, they think it's going to work for everybody else. My point is this, though. This little remorse thing, this I'm running back and why did I... it's a made-up emotion to make yourself feel better because you're not comfortable with yourself.
I think there is a natural remorse, though, too. Like, I was just thinking what you were saying. I remember I pegged a squirrel in the head with a tennis ball, and that was when I was 14, and I still feel remorse 14 years later about it. Whenever I see a squirrel, I feel bad because, I just really laid it on him with a tennis ball. And
Did you kill it?
I didn't kill it, but I think I crippled it.
So you're sitting around worried. This fucking squirrel would have died years ago. Let's face it.
Yeah, it's probably due to my fault. I don't know how the age...
You eat meat every day. Where's your fucking remorse for that? Every day I see you eat a hamburger. Why aren't you crying over the cows?
The cows are such dopey animals. I mean, you have to have some kind of athleticism. Squirrels can run up trees.
People eat squirrels.
Well, they
squirrels are to be eaten.
That's a mistake.
That's not why. Mistake. Because this is my point. You set up these little things where he hasn't even sat down and go, why do I feel bad about a squirrel and not a fucking chicken? He doesn't think about it for a second.
It's just all qualifiers that he has set up.
It's fucking like you want to fall into the little brain mode. You want to be a fucking follower.
No, I don't like thinking of the bigger picture sometimes.
I know that. I can see that.
Yeah.
That's why you feel like you've come up with that you were going to open your soul, and the fact that you hit you threw a tennis ball at a fucking rat. You thought 14 years ago you thought was going to make us all go, oh my God, thanks for sharing. Like we're sitting here at some fucking NA meeting. It ain't happening,
Which
bro.
is something I felt remorseful about.
You totally
why? That's my fucking point.
Because he was limping at the end, and he ran away like all crooked, and he was zigzagging all over the place, and I fucking can't get that image out of my head.
Is this on YouTube?
I'm dead serious. 14 years later, I can't get the squirrel.
You know what? It scares me. The only thing that's bad, what if he couldn't get back up to his tree? Like he couldn't. Wait. I said, hey, what if it's a she? What if she couldn't get back to her babies?
Squirrel babies?
That's not cool, man.
I'm sure they died within months.
That's a long death.
Is it? For a squirrel?
Months without food?
I don't know.
Without their little nuts?
Oh.
I feel terrible.
Why don't you feel bad for a cow? They hang them upside down, fucking hit them in the back.
Fat things.
But, Ronnie called the squirrel a rat. You wouldn't feel bad if you pegged a rat with a tennis ball.
I'd fucking enjoy the hell out of it.
A squirrel is a rat, just so you know.
With a fuzzier tail.
They're very cute. If I could domesticate them, I'd have about 7 squirrels living with me.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, and I bet you would. That fucking tennis arm of yours, 7 crippled squirrels.
It's amazing to me which rodents are acceptable and which ones aren't.
Matt, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's going on? I had an issue. My chick was over in Iraq. Her roommate banged like 12 dudes within 6 months. It's the soldiers banging the soldiers over there. That's where they're getting all the ads from.
Interesting point.
So
Earl, how come that doesn't make you cry? When you think about soldiers banging soldiers?
No, that's their prerogative. I just made a personal choice not to.
You made a personal choice not to be with women. Before you act like you are somehow above everybody else who called, you've made a choice that you will fuck up any opportunity between you and a woman. Period.
No, I mean I will not.
Fuck women.
No, I'm not going to screw around with a married woman.
You will not fuck women.
No, I'm not screwing. No, I'm going to screw around with a married woman.
Or a single woman.
No,
I've seen you. You do not.
Yes, I do.
And unlike Dave, who can't wear a condom, Earl wears 3. Earl wears 3 condoms just to jack off.
He gets cold.
All right, here's somebody to speak a little sense to us. Solera. Hey, Solera, how are you, darling?
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
All right. I have a genuine, to this day, remorse story. After me and my ex-husband broke up, a month after, one of his friends kind of invited me out. He said, let's talk and whatever. Maybe, I guess, I know what he wanted after. But we go out and basically get drunk in the village and ended up, making out in a telephone booth. And I woke up the next morning next to him, realized that I had had sex with him, and immediately threw up. I was so disgusted with myself and the fact that I had eaten dinner at his house and met his wife and knew his kids. And to this day, I think about it, I'm revolted by what I did. And no one found out, and it's kind of like the dirty little secret no one knows.
No,
but
everyone knows
it makes me a bad human being.
I got to tell you the truth. I find it the best story I've ever heard, and maybe in my life.
Even the throw-up part?
Yes, especially. That when she wakes up feeling so bad, she pukes. It's fucking perfect. What have I done?
That phone booth part is right out of True Romance. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was. It was very romantic. And, and maybe it sealed the deal, so whatever. But,
have you seen this guy since?
Yeah, I've seen him. I mean, he's basically one of my ex-husband's closest friends, and they call him Uncle. And it's like, I've seen his wife. I went to Christmas dinner at their house, and it's just our dirty secret. No one knows.
Now, do you guys ever say it to each other?
No.
Hey, does he ever do stuff like, hey, isn't it a phone ringing, Solera? Maybe you better get that. Just fucking holding up a phone book at you. Remember what happened?
No, never mentioned it.
All right, here's the weird thing. How come people's worst stories always sound the best, and then when they tell you they have a best story, it just sounds like crap to you? This story is 10 times hotter than when someone calls in to brag.
It's true.
This remorse thing is really hot, Fez, that you came up with, that you invented. All right, thanks, Solera. We'll see you soon, honey.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That fucking guy, probably, it's been 7 years, his smile hasn't come down now, because he's been with Solera. He's probably looking at the kids going like this, all right, I can't tell you the whole story, but her ass was unbelievable. That's all I'm saying. Ass was unbelievable.
I'm so batching to that at about 3:15 today.
Well, you still will be at work. And you know not to use the third floor anymore, like you've been told.
I know.
Because I did find out you were jacking down there. That's why he was using the third floor bathroom.
You know, he kept on, oh, the bathrooms are so luxurious. It's so much nicer and more private.
He tried to act like he was shit shy.
Yeah.
He's really, he wants to fucking jack in privacy.
You know what? I'm so stupid. I should have realized anyone who's not
went down there with him.
Anyone who's not jack shy is not shit shy.
It smells so nice down there. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
You're lying.
Here's Ralph. You're on Ron and Fez.
What's going on, man? I love the show.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out. The thing about that whole remorse thing, I'm going to tell you what happened to me a few years back. I'm 36 years old at the time. I met this young lady. Of course, I was married, and I didn't realize how young she was until after shit had happened already.
10.
Once I found out how old she was, I realized I could go to jail.
Oh, Jesus.
Did I stop? No, I didn't. Did I have any remorse? No, I didn't. Guys, the average guy ain't going to have no remorse when pussy is through in his face. Am I right or wrong?
I think that you're 100% right. I really do. Now, I know that you first have to be attracted to women. So, for Fez, I think it's easier to turn down. Obviously, for Earl, it's much easier to turn down. But again, they take a superior view to the whole thing. You know, it'd be like me going, no, I won't eat someone's broccoli. You know what I mean? Of course, it's not even a fucking choice for me. All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
Peace. But yet, we somehow feel superior to other people.
Because if I was good looking, I would be banging every single chick that came across.
You know what? It's not even looks, bro. That's what I fucking try to tell you. It's attitude. No woman wants to be with a guy who acts like you. Forget looks like you. The way you fucking act. That is what fucks it up for you.
Yeah, if your personality was better looking.
Well, I try to act cool. I think I am. I think I
don't know. I think I'm pretty cool. What do you think?
I like cool music.
What do you think? Strong Bad? I like cool music. Are you going to fucking scream Pink Floyd at her every single day?
All the chicks love GNR. They do. I have other tastes in that. I like.
Look, let me tell you. You said the first time you took your girlfriend out, you took her to a batting machine to watch you fucking hit, right?
Yeah.
That's so 13-year-old girl. You still scream about your rock albums.
Yeah.
That's still, maybe you're going to impress a 13-year-old girl. You're not going to impress women with this. You take her outside to the basketball court, you play horse, and you try to, like you say, get in her face, smack talk. Maybe if you could pick up a 7th or 8th grade girl with that. You're an adult living in an adult world. That's your problem.
I think adult chicks like collectibles. I have a huge Simpsons little action figure.
Yeah, all right, you got me there.
Thing.
What woman, what fucking grown woman wouldn't want to sit there and go, oh my God, where did you end up finding comic book guy? Yeah, that, you're dead on. I got to get on fucking another show. You know, sometimes I turn on O&A, there's 30 people in there. Maybe I'll fucking sneak in the back and just grab a mic. Just be one of the guys yelling shit out. I'll come in with Voss and his wife, and I'll just be in the back, and then finally, you know, they'll get used to me. I can't do this show anymore.
Sure you can.
That's that little voice that Fez told me about. Is that me?
No, that's me. That's Fez.
Oh. There for a second, I thought I had a conscience. Tim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, these wives don't need to be remorseful, you know, if they screw around, because you got Jessica Lynch was over there just poontanging around. You know, I mean, if she could walk today, she'd be right back over there taking one for the team.
Let me tell you, Jessica Simpson fucked all over the place, so people have a tendency, other than Fez and Earl, people have a tendency to interact with the other sex. That's my point.
It's only animal instinct. It's all it is. People
Speaking of animals, I wonder how that little squirrel is.
On crutches.
I don't know. You know, I feel terrible about it, though.
Here's Jack. You're on Ron and Fez.
You know, Fez said he shot a lizard point blank with an arrow and stood and watched the life fade from its eyes. So look at the negative karma he's got, Dave.
All right. Radio Shark. I don't know what happened with Bronx Johnny. He is just not the same. Fez, what did you shoot with an arrow?
I shot a lizard way up close. I was a kid.
Yeah.
I had just read a Green Arrow comic, the superhero that uses trick arrows. So I had tried to make my form of a boxing glove arrow like he had in the comic book, where I wrapped this like a sock and some string, taped it all up to the front of the arrow, so it would be like a knockout arrow instead of a point. And then I went and tried it out on a lizard and got up really close on the lizard. I'd say probably within 6 inches of it, let it go, and just crush that lizard's head.
What did you think was going to happen?
You know what? I knew exactly what was going to happen.
You just know the feeling, yeah.
I didn't know, that is it. I didn't know how bad I would feel after I did it.
Did it die?
Oh, yeah, just rolled over.
Remember when you were fishing off the dock and you were trying to do a catch and release? Fez was trying to do a little... we're on our friend's dock down in Florida, and Fez thought, well, I'll catch it, but I'll just release it because I wouldn't want to hurt. And the guy's telling him, oh, yeah, they don't even feel it in the mouth. They don't have the same feelings because Fez doesn't fish. So he catches this little fucking fish, 6, 7 inches. And, of course, the way he... Fez setting the hook, he fucking yanked it in, went in deep, tore out the fucking, insides. He took all of his time, so, reeling it up. He's not very strong. So this little 6-inch fish, it kind of swallowed the hook. By the time they dug it out, it was in bad shape. So they throw it back in the water, and Fez still doesn't realize that, the fish is too far gone. So it kind of flops to its side, right? Fez is going, oh no,
someone's going to win a prize.
So then it actually went so its tail was facing like the bottom of the bay, right? And it was just looking up, and it seemed like it was looking at Fez, and it started sinking with just its face looking at Fez. He's crying like a woman.
It was the wildest thing I had ever seen. Why God didn't give fish eyelids so that I couldn't see its open eye. I don't know why.
And then eventually it gets to the point where you just see it sink into the darkness.
Like DiCaprio in Titanic.
Yeah, and then, exactly. And then Fez is still doing it. Is it going to be all right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, once it gets to the bottom, they push you off.
I mean,
be good.
I tried to follow it all the way down, and for as far as I could see it, hands on my knees, looking over the dock at it, and just hoping that I'm going to see this thing swim away any second. Any second now, this thing's going to just pop back to life.
So then I tried to cheer him up by going, Fez, it's a fucking fish. Stop it. It didn't work on him.
I was done for the day, too. Turned in my pole at that point.
Month later, he's still telling the story as if he hit a kid with his car.
That's how I felt. Oh, God. The fish, the lizard. Not to mention, of course, the lizard I crushed when it ran up my pants. I'm just a killing machine, Ronnie.
Yeah, you're something else, you are. You're fucking Davy Crockett.
Just the murder spree I've left behind me.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice that. It's not going on down all that well.
Ron and Fez, XM 202.
Chuck Polinick is in the house, Fez. He's really one of our fine writers, one of our great writers in this country right now.
He's on tour promoting the paperback release of his book, Haunted.
All right, so let's bring Chuck in.
And you open the door and you step inside. We're inside our hearts. Now imagine your pain is a white ball of healing light. That's right, your pain. The pain itself is a white ball of healing light. I don't think so. This is your life, good to the last drop. Doesn't get any better than this. This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. This isn't a seminar. This isn't a weekend retreat. Where you are now, you can't even imagine what the bottom will be like. Only after disaster can we be resurrected. It's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. Nothing is static. Everything is evolving. Everything is falling apart. This is your life. This is your life. This is your life. This is your life. Doesn't complete. I say, may I never be content. I say, deliver me from Swedish furniture. I say, deliver me from clever art. I say, deliver me from clear skin and perfect teeth. I say, you have to give up. I say, evolve, and let the chips fall where they may. This is your life, this is your life, this is your life, this is your life. Doesn't get any better than this. This is your life, this is your life, this is your life, this is your life. And it's ending 1 minute at a time. Welcome to Fight Club. If this is your first night, you have to fight.
It's the Ron and Fez show. Chuck Palahniuk is in studio with us. His latest book, Haunted, is now in paperback.
Chuck, welcome to the show. This is the start of your tour right now?
Yeah, 10 years of touring.
10 years of touring, and do you see the same faces coming out? Are there new faces? What? I know that you have a relationship with your fans like I don't think any other writer does.
I'm seeing their babies now. I mean, that is the depressing part, is I have seen them from high school to having their babies. I've gotten their wedding invites. I mean, I'm watching these people grow up.
Why did you go in the direction of keeping in touch with your audience? I don't think a lot of writers do that, do they? Where they'll answer emails and stuff like that.
You know, and answer letters, and because that is where all of the best stories come from.
Yeah.
You know, my life could probably fill, she's nothing. My life is fantastically boring. But all of these people who just, because I debase myself with the stories that I tell, they come up and they tell me the most amazing things that you would never even find on the internet. Stuff that they have never told anybody. And so I come back from tour with enough stuff for 10 books.
So a lot of the stuff that's in the Haunted is stuff that people brought up to you.
Oh, at least 99%.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's how little imagination I have.
Yeah, but, you know, to be able to pull it all together, it's pretty interesting. Now, I've got the Haunted paperback. This is the shape that it's in, because as I'm attempting to read the book, I'm twisting and jerking back and forth. Some of these stories, Chuck, I got to tell you the truth, I wish I never had in my mind.
I know. See, isn't that the horrible thing?
Yeah.
That somebody can come up to you and show you a picture or tell you something that will stay with you until you die. That will be the last thing you see before you fall asleep every night.
Yeah, it is bizarre. You know, the weird thing, too, is some of this stuff, because the way that you can write about disease or whatever, and I know, is it called like a new kind of horror now? Some of the critics are saying it's a different kind of horror that you're writing.
You know, that's what I call it,
yeah.
Because since 9/11, we can't really stand on a soapbox and say really overtly political things for fear that, you know, nobody will laugh anymore and we'll be labeled a terrorist.
Right.
But if you call it horror, where people have the expectation that things are going to turn out poorly, you know, Mia Farrow's going to have that devil baby.
Right.
Then you can get away with anything.
Well, you know, I mean, when it comes to like horror, I've never been afraid of, you know, Frankenstein or the Mummy or whatever, because I can't imagine that happening. The stuff in your books, the thing that really scares me is it will happen at some point. You know, with some of the disease or accidents that people go through, you're probably going to face this stuff in your life.
And the thing is, the big defense is it has happened. There's nothing I can imagine that 1 billion people have not already done or are also planning to do. You know, none of us are that unique.
Yeah. I know that I guess what happens is a lot of times I read your stuff and I'll go, I've had that thought before. This is familiar to me. But like a civilized person, I push it out of my mind. I push it away. And there you've brought it back again.
It's funny. Every time I get my wallet out to pay for something,
I put fortune cookie fortunes, the really good ones, in the little window part where people put their driver's license or their kid's picture. And every time I take my wallet out, the cashier says, I do that too. I thought I was the only one that put my fortune cookie fortunes in the window part.
Right.
And all of us thinks that we're the only one that does these things until, somebody goes in and shoots up an entire school because nobody wanted to admit they all have had that fantasy.
Now, do you, I'm sure some of obviously some of the emails and letters you get have got to be somewhat frightening from people.
For the most part, they're really not. That if somebody's going to take the effort, especially to write a letter, that the process itself is a sort of civilizing process. And then to buy a stamp and then to put it in the mail. By the time they've gone through all that, it's like the 10-day waiting period on a gun. They just don't have it anymore.
So you don't really you think if anybody was going to do any of this stuff, that it would either happen quickly, or they're not even thoughtful people who would sit around and read books and think about it. That they'll just do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the kind of thing that those are not book people.
Right.
Book people, boy, anymore, there are so few book people. Just the fact that they're reading a book sort of makes them an intelligent person, sort of a more thoughtful person. I think if somebody's going to be a lot more swayed by any other form of media at this point.
So you're competing, of course, in media, let's say, that Fitzgerald would never even dreamt of. When Fitzgerald was writing, people either read books or they went to concerts or something. But now, young people they've got a million different things they could be doing besides reading your book.
A million different forms of storytelling that serve them better. And I don't think that they don't read because they're stupid people. I think they don't read because they are smarter people, and they're more sophisticated storytellers, and they have seen stories told in much better ways by every other form, and that's why they've left books behind.
Yeah, I know. It's a good point, because when you think about ADD, when we keep reading, kids have ADD. Well, you're going to need ADD in this world. You're really going to have to be able to switch gears all the time. And I noticed reading your books, everything moves along pretty quick.
And those people with ADD are probably the best drivers on the freeway.
Right.
It's those people who really love books that you do not want to be driving around.
Slow, easy, thoughtful people.
Or the people who are going to sideswipe you because they didn't look.
Right. They're off in their own world.
Right.
Yeah. Chuck Palahniuk is in studio with us. He's the author, of course, of Fight Club, Choke, Survivor, Stranger Than Fiction. His latest, Haunted, is now in paperback.
Now, this is a bunch of short stories that you've tied together through another story. Why did you go in that direction this time? And some of these short stories, I was thinking, this seems like I would like to stay with it. This could be a novel in itself.
And that's a mark of a good is that it sort of explodes at the end.
Right.
And you can imagine a whole world coming out of the back end of that story. And I really love Twilight Zone and those sort of shows that a bunch of things together. And that's kind of a sort of a vaudeville format of a lot of different textures of stories all presented together within a sort of a context that allows for that. And we just haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah, but we used to have those anthology TV things. I guess they went out in the late 60s, early 70s. People don't think, hey, I'm just going to take, I'll go in there and see what they have this week. They have to know exactly what they're going to get every week, I guess.
And also cheapness, because, you have to build different sets every week for every story, and you have to cast those stories, and you have to bring in guest writers and directors for those stories. And if you can do a reality show, you can save a lot of money and get the same audience.
I was also thinking about Illustrated Man when I was reading it, which was a favorite of mine when I was a kid. Same type of format.
There's the old hack science fiction writers called those fix-up stories, fix-up novels. Because in the 1930s and 40s, if you had a whole bunch of magazine stories published and you could find some common thread, hey, all these stories take place on Mars. You could write the Martian Chronicles and republish all of your previous work in one cover as a fix-up novel.
Chuck is here. He's on tour. He's out reading to people. I guess was it the last tour that you were on that you were reading Guts that got so much press?
The last tour had a lot of faintings. I just did a tour in England where I read it several times, and the biggest one was Brighton with 13 faintings.
Wow.
Yeah.
13 people fainted during the reading of this story. Now, has this type of thing ever happened before? Or
it has happened historically with Charles Dickens when he read I think it was the strangulation scene or twist.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that is a really tightly corseted laudanum culture.
Right.
Where a lot of those folks were just set up. And I understand that Irving occasionally has faintings with Cider House Rules when he reads the kitchen table abortion scene, that people have fainted during that scene. But no, not in recent history.
Now, when you're reading this story, and it is horrific. It is just an ungodly story to read.
But you laughed, didn't you?
Yeah, I do. But you know, I may be a little bit of a sick person. You know, I mean, I prefer that comedy probably to the slapstick, you know, straight ahead comedy. Like, I'm likely to laugh at Pulp Fiction. The jokes there are Goodfellas, something that'll break up some of the other tension. I think I'm for a quick laugh for more than a straight comedy. But as you're going through this and you're reading this, and I'm sure you're getting laughs from the audience, you to see people over, you ignore them, or do you stop? How do you deal with that?
The first sign is you start to see people undress. There'll be a lot of laughter, and it will slowly die away as people realize where the story is going. And then you'll look out, and there will be people topless because they're sweating so hard that they've taken their shirt or their sweater off. And at that point, I start feeling a little lightheaded, so I have to hold on to the podium. And at some point, there'll be this horrible, horrible sound as someone's head flops to the side and their soft palate closes.
Mm-hmm.
A doctor explained this to me in Cambridge, England, that as you faint sitting up, your head flops to one side, your throat collapses, and your body automatically, reflexively jerks you forward to open your throat again so you can, and the weight of your head carries you to the floor. So typically, you'll see someone sort of flop to the side against the person next to them, and at that point they just twist and their weight takes them right to the floor.
It's a survival technique. That's something the body does for you.
Exactly, because you can't do it for yourself. You're suffocating. But you hear that horrible choking noise just before the crash.
Ugh. Ugh. How long do these tours last for you, Chuck? How long are you out on the road for?
They don't go more than 2 or 3 weeks. So that's fine with me.
When you're in Europe, is it the same type of crowd? I mean, you deal probably with more men than, don't you? I'd say
probably, but anymore it's really even, young men and young women.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And very big with colleges. I know in colleges you're read pretty extensively.
Required reading in some.
Really?
It's fantastically shameless.
That has got to be a bizarre thing for you to hear, too.
But I'm banned in some colleges, so it evens out.
Have you, many of the schools, did you ever try to get a reason why you were banned?
No, not really. It's people who have written to me and said, you are banned from the United Methodist College, but the fact that you are banned means that everyone has your book.
That almost makes it required reading.
It is like a marketing tool.
Yeah. They used to have the Banned in Boston thing on for a film or whatever, if they would actually take it, and I guess because the Archdiocese in Boston had so much control at one time, so the movie studios or books would actually slap that on there to make other people find out what the hell's in here that I need to read so much.
And that was one of the reasons why Mark Twain had such a career, is that Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, even within their time, were considered really scandalous because they used a vernacular. They didn't have a very intelligent sort of author's voice, narrator's voice.
Right.
And they were so condemned and so banned for their seeming idiocy that they became fantastically popular.
That's another thing. The way you write is almost like talking to you most of the time. Like you could feel almost that regular guy thing coming at you.
And that is because when I first started writing, Thursday night workshop in Tom Spanbauer's kitchen, we would drink afterwards, and one night Tom got drunk enough to say, Chuck, you cannot write for shit. You cannot write a story, but you can tell a story, so why don't you just try to write the way you would tell a story at a party to a bunch of drunken friends?
Before that, you were being overly descriptive, or?
Before that, I was trying to be Stephen King, and I was trying to be Joyce Carol Oates, and I was trying to be anybody who already had an audience.
You know, and I was thinking the same thing, too, of you saying some of these stories that you take out, you know, and basically doing like Guts, you were doing a spoken word, and you'll be doing some of that tonight. And you can find that when you're doing that sometimes, because I imagine the writer doesn't always have the opportunity to get the feedback of hearing the gasp, hearing the laughter. I know from doing stand-up, you could have a line that you think, oh, this punchline's great, it's done well for a year. You switch one little thing, and suddenly it's 10 times better, or gets nothing. A writer doesn't have that kind of feedback normally.
Normally they don't. In the workshop that I still go to with my friends that I've gone to for 16 years, that is like our beta testing. Where do you need a beat? Where do you need a pause? Where are you delivering too fast? Where do you need to sort of cut the energy back so that the next thing lands as hard as it can land? What laugh do you need to break up into a 3-part laugh? You know, there's so many 3-part laughs in Guts. That used to be my worst fear in the entire world. My teenage virgin sister just thinking she's getting fat and then giving birth to a 2-headed retard baby. Beat. Let the laugh build. Both heads looking like me. Beat. Let the laugh build. Me, the uncle and the father.
So you'll go in and just work these out with your friends.
Work them out with my friends. And Tom Spanbauer, who taught me minimalist writing, was so evil. To sort of impress on us how boring we could be, he would book us readings at sports bars. And so we would be up there trying to read in front of 6 widescreen televisions all showing football. And people would go up there trying to read a great sentimental story about their niece dying of juvenile leukemia, and they would be weeping and shaking, and nobody would give a shit.
Right.
So you really had to write something.
And the same way that you should be able to walk in that sports bar with a good story and grab those guys and pull them in.
If I'm going to ask for their attention and their time, I've got to provide something that serves those people.
Now, you stayed in Portland even after you hit. You was with the same people. What is it about Portland? Everybody I meet from Portland is a little askew. They're a little different, I think, than the rest of the country.
Well, one reason is Portland's sort of a magnet for that. You know, the theory that has been put forward by Catherine Dunn, who wrote Geek Love, is she says all of the real oddballs, all the crackpots, escape to the West Coast. They dream of escaping to the West Coast. And the ones that really are the most disturbed find that the only city they can afford to live in is Portland, because it's the cheapest West Coast city.
I hear that from everyone. Why so cheap there, do you know?
Because there are no jobs in Portland. There are the worst jobs, and so everyone works part-time. It is a slacker city.
Just everybody's pretty laid back, and everybody seems to have a band. Everybody I talk to from Portland has a band.
They have a band or they have a screenplay.
Chuck, here's another thing I love about your writing is that you do research into some really fun areas. You always give us something of the dark side of the new age stuff. There's a dark side of corporate. Is this something that you got into before your writing, or did you obsess upon it, or want to know these things, or it's something that you do just for your books?
You know, I just love being with people. Yeah. And I sort of decided that if I was going to write in my free time while I was working a job that I really hated at Freightliner, then my writing time, my free time had to be a blast. So I was going to write at parties, and I was going to use writing as an ongoing excuse and permission to be with people. And so I sort of approach everybody as a spy who has something that I need to learn. And every week people are telling me things. This week I was researching what happens when your water breaks just before you give birth. And a friend of mine was telling me that she was raised, and a lot of women were raised in the 60s and 70s to always carry a big jar of pickles with them in their last trimester. So the moment your water broke, no matter where you were at, you could drop this glass jar of pickles, and everyone would think that it was a pickle water on the floor and not your baby water. And it would sort of camouflage you, and you could walk away with your wet shoes, and they wouldn't know that your water had broken. And a lot of women will still carry a jar of pickles in their last trimester to disguise their water breaking. And so when somebody tells me something like that is part of the experience of a vast number of people, but not part of my experience,
right?
I am just so dazzled and amazed I have to use it. The other day, a friend of mine sort of shifted in her seat, and I said, "What's up?" And she said, "My tampon's gone sideways." I had no idea that would happen. It's like when your nuts get twisted and you have to sort of shift in some way that no one will notice.
Right.
She says, women, the tampon shifts sideways, and they got to sort of shift in their seat to get it back up and down again. Again, I had no idea. So it's these little aspects of human experience that are sort of secrets that I have to find out from people and make a book out of.
These are like little treasures that you just, you finally picked up a little piece of gold walking along the beach, huh?
Exactly, and a lot of people will be thrilled because they've never seen that aspect of the culture of their lives acknowledged in the culture. And a lot of people will be thrilled because they had no idea that thing even existed.
And again, you'll get into some of that stuff. I think you talked about hypnosis for sexual purposes. A little bit, was it Survivor that you were doing that in?
Choke.
In Choke, yeah. And I remember thinking, this could be a book itself. This is really, really wild. And I know for a fact it's done because I know some hypnotists who get way better looking women than they should have. Way better looking.
There are so many things in the world that you have no idea that are out there.
Right.
So, that's why I sort of never run out, because every time I sit down on an airplane, somebody will tell me something that I had no idea. Oh, here's a really good visceral one. Kid comes up at the end of one book event last year on tour. Very last person, midnight, hundreds and hundreds of people. And he brings a garbage bag of Polaroid pictures, hundreds of pictures, and he starts dealing them out like cards. And they're all these old people naked, asleep in these dirty-looking white-painted coffins. And I asked him, I said, what's up? And he says, "This is my art project." And I said, "But these naked old people, why are they all asleep?" And he said, "They're not asleep." He says, "I work at the Fantasy Adult Unlimited, and these are all people who have died in our porno arcade." He says, "I work behind the dildo counter, and we have to do an arcade check before shift change. And whenever I find somebody who's died in the arcade, I use the Polaroid we have for 86th people, and I take their picture before I call the paramedics. And these are all either old guys who have died jerking off to porn with all their pants on the floor, or they're sex workers who have died with a needle still in their arm from an overdose. And I am sitting here looking at dozens of these dead people in these dirty little porno booths. And now, like you said, I cannot close my eyes without seeing these same pictures for the rest of my life."
And I mean, to think that more people die like that than, let's say, shark attacks or hit by lightning, and that's stuff that we fear and think about all the time.
It is not the thing that you anticipate. It's always some very ordinary thing that's going to get you.
You enjoy some of the meetings, 12-step meetings that you'll go, and is that all part of your research as well? I know, you've kind of documented some of that stuff.
I am always looking for the context in which people tell really, really true, self-effacing, debasing, demeaning, true stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because it used to be that people would go to church to tell their worst selves. Church was the one safe place that you could go, and you could risk looking as bad as you had to look in order to tell a story and be forgiven and to be accepted back into your community. So every week you would go and you could say anything, and you would be forgiven and accepted back through communion. But now church is really the place you go to show off your new blank, coat, hat, shoes, kid. And the place that people go now to express their worst selves and to be forgiven are 12-step groups, support groups, writers' workshops, phone sex chat lines, all these places where people go and express the worst part of who they are so they can be forgiven and accepted back into the people that they live among.
So you'll go there with the intention of writing or the intention of sharing? Do you do this for yourself, even if you weren't going to write about it? Or
I would do it just to listen to people perform their stories.
Yeah.
Because they're not just telling something from their life, they're also trying to tell it in the most effective way. So they're doing a sort of performance that is really natural, but is based on a lot of very instinctual rhetorical devices. That whole sort of Paul Harvey way of waiting, to create tension, to create expectation. Those Dr. Laura Schlesinger pauses that pull people in tighter and tighter until the big payoff at the end of the story. So you can study how people deliver their stories most effectively.
And the amazing thing, too, is, being at a meeting, if somebody just brings up something horrific, bing, boom, there's 3 more to follow it. Now it's okay to really get out there and lay stuff out.
The competitive nature of storytelling.
Isn't it really interesting that way?
It is interesting, and it is wonderful. I love that, how people lobby and try to grab hold of the conversation. You know, they all have little introductory phrases. Oh, that reminds me. Or, oh, yeah, that happened to me. Or they all have some way of acknowledging what's been said, but redirecting the conversation to themselves.
Yeah, it's amazing how powerful it can be, too, because you are not used to the truth. You go through life and you ask people how you doing, they say okay, or they ask you, you say okay, and none of it's real. None of it's real throughout most of your life.
And if I can bitch for a minute, which is a transitional phrase, if I can bitch for a minute here, it's because I think mass media in the last century has sort of stayed so much in the middle of the spectrum of human experience. It really hasn't expressed anything outside of a very narrow bandwidth of human experience that we've come to expect that that's what human experience is. It is not the really awful stuff. It is not the really wonderful stuff. It's always a sort of in-the-middle stuff that can be presented with soap commercials cut into it.
Right. Or, that is interesting. And then we all decide at the same time, oh, Tom Cruise has stepped out of the center, or the Dixie Chicks have stepped out of the center. And everybody seems to turn at the same time to say, you're no longer behaving properly for us. You brought up something that we don't want to hear anymore. So that makes you weird.
Yeah, and in a way, you can't sell the maximum amount of soap when you're not in the center.
But it never dawns on somebody, hey, let's see, Tom Cruise's religious beliefs sure seem weird. What about my own? At no point does anybody say every religious belief is pretty strange and pretty out of the ordinary.
It's just, we sort of pick our heroes, but we also pick our scapegoats in that same way.
Yeah. All right, we want to make sure we plug this. I want to have some time to take some calls here. I know you're running around doing a lot of stuff. If you got time to take some calls, it'd be great, Chuck.
Go for it.
All right, 866-RON-0-FEZ, 866-RON-0-FEZ. We'll open up the phone lines for Chuck. Here's Kyle. Kyle, you're on with Chuck. Say hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
Hey, thanks for having Chuck on.
Sure.
Chuck, how you doing?
Hey, is this Kyle McCormick?
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That'd be great if it was.
I would have fainted.
Just wanted to know how the Writer's Workshop book is going.
The Writer's Workshop book. And that would be the book that's sort of based on the principles of minimalism that Tom taught me that I found most useful. And I've pretty much done my part of it. But just to make sure that Tom is acknowledged in this book, I've passed it on to Tom, and he's going to write the other half of it. So I'm hoping that he'll do that in the next 6 months, and we'll have the book out next year.
Now, how do you do it? It goes back and forth between you, or how are you doing it?
Well, I've done all of the principles that I can remember and really explain that he taught me. And I'm looking for him to sort of fill in the blank with all the rest of the stuff he knows. And then we'll do one last polish and bring it out.
Here's Chip. Chip, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's going on, Ronnie?
Hey,
How are
buddy.
you?
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, big fan, man. I just wanted to ask you, you're so unique in your writing and your minimalist writing. What kind of role models did you have growing up? Writers did you read that helped you become who you are?
All right, Chip, we'll let Chuck get into that.
Role models growing up would be, because I started writing in grade school and wrote until I discovered marijuana and masturbation, and then gave it up until I was 31 years old. Gave up writing. But when I was little, the Ellery Queen books, because the Ellery Queen guys would give you all the clues, and you could figure them out if you were really paying attention. They didn't cheat you. And Ray Bradbury, I love Ray Bradbury books. And Stephen King.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those horror books, especially the horror comic books, I just love those.
Have you had the chance to hang out with King? Have you had the chance to talk with him?
No, I wrote to him and he didn't write me back.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I just figure he's got a really busy life.
I would think that, the other thing that you share with King is that you'll get your books out there. You will keep writing. It's not the Gay Talese, I'll put out a book a decade. You're gonna hit him with 10 more books than what he'll come out with.
And part of that is trying to keep it from becoming a really precious thing, where you think, oh, this is the perfect book, this is the last book, this is the most important book, and you sort of get away from the joy of writing those stories and doing the work. You load it with too much power and significance, and it quits being fun for you.
And then when you get this feedback, I know you have your website gets tons of hits, right?
Actually, I just have fan sites. I really don't have a website.
Oh, The Cult doesn't belong to you?
That belongs to Dennis Widmer.
Oh, I had no idea. So do you go to those and check out to see what people think? Or because now, since the Internet, it's like everybody, like in our business, it's like everybody is the producer of the show, where they think they know who should be booked and what everybody should be doing. I don't know if anybody ever gets as much feedback in history as people get now,
And that was sort of that's the metaphorical monster in Haunted, is that every era has a metaphorical monster.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, Dracula was either syphilis or it was the Jewish migration from Eastern Europe. Those are both sort of the metaphorical vampire at the time. Frankenstein was maybe the Industrial Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the metaphorical monster of our time is the sort of complete breakdown of credibility in that everyone can be a news outlet right now.
Right.
And the New York Times keeps fucking up, so they're not helping. And so, in a way, the sort of lack of meta-narrative, lack of overarching authority, and the fracturing of authority and reality is the sort of monster of our time, and the Internet has just made that so much worse.
It's funny because we all thought it was going to make it better, but because there's so many places, I don't think we're ever going to have another Beatles. I don't think there's ever going to be that thing that everybody listens to and it could change everybody's point of view at the same time.
And on the flip side, maybe we'll never have another Hitler.
Right, there you go, hopefully. Here is, let's go to Jim. Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Chuck, I loved your book, Haunted. It's probably one of my favorite books that I've ever read. I went back and I read Choke after that, loved it just as much. Haunted just seemed to be so much different than Choke, and now I just started reading Diary, and it just seems like almost like they're from different authors. And I just wanted to know. I read a lot of reviews about Haunted, and a couple of stories about you reading it in front of people and people passing out and people kind of getting upset. And are those stories really true, or was that just like some media hype?
No, actually, there were a lot of people passing out and a lot of people getting upset, and especially in Italy, where they had an actor read it in Italian. Italian men, if they faint in public, are fantastically angry afterwards. And I just had to keep sort of reiterating, I've got 7 minutes to tell you folks a story. And if I can make you laugh and then make you sick and maybe make you faint in 7 minutes, then I've done my job. But that's a tough job.
He felt offended, like you stole his masculinity, I guess, by fainting?
Oh, my gosh, shaking. These men shaking their fists saying, did you read that story just to humiliate me?
Wow.
They take it very personally.
Is it odd for you to have your books translated to it? Do you worry that not everything is coming across the way that you would do it if you spoke Italian yourself?
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah.
There's writers that I know call me the kind of animal that eats its own children, because once a book is done, I really have no control over it, so I just quit worrying about it.
Yeah, I was wondering, I know Hollywood's pretty much interested in all your work at one place or another. Do you know of anything that's going to be released as a movie again? Or
the folks who made Constantine last year have bought my second book, Survivor, and I understand the screenplay is really good. The folks have Choke. They have a very good screenplay that they're starting to cast. I know that Susan Sarandon's cast as the mother at this point. She's under contract. Lullaby just got optioned, so it's in development. What else is there? Diary they have a screenplay and they're starting to cast. Invisible Monsters, they've had a screenplay for a long time. They keep casting it. The casting falls apart or the financing falls apart, but they're all in development somewhere.
And you're just happy to let go of that. You don't feel like, I want to write the screenplay myself, I want to be on set. Whatever happens, it's off on its own, and you feel like the book is what you wanted to tell.
Exactly, and I still have that beautiful young woman in Seattle coming up at the very end of a book event and saying that the first orgasm she ever had was with her little sister's Cookie Monster toothbrush. And that for years she thought the only way you could have an orgasm is with a Cookie Monster electric toothbrush. You know, I've still got this enormous backlog of stories that people tell me. So I really don't want to take the time to go back and try to sort of retread something I've done before.
Every time you hear one of these stories, you're thinking to yourself, I got to get it into a book. That's the next thing.
The way my grandfather used to find junked cars or any sort of big rusting metal thing, if it was free, he had to take it. It's free. I have to take it home. And I have to do something with this. I can do something with this.
Chuck, it was a pleasure to have you in today.
Thank you very much.
I want to thank Danny from O&A. I don't know whether you met him. He was the guy who made sure that he hooked it up to bring you by. It was a real pleasure to meet you, and best of luck with everything you do. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Ron and Fez.
Ron and Fez. XM 202.
All right, Fez, this was just sent to us when we were talking about celebrity stuff. This is the top 10 celebrity autograph. Now, have you ever gotten an autograph from anybody, Fez?
Yeah, I've gotten autographs from wrestlers. I used to do that a lot. Ric Flair being the crown jewel in my wrestler collection.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever gotten an autograph from anybody. How about you, Dave?
Got Ron Guidry on a bottle of Ron Guidry steak sauce. And
fucking starving. We're getting steak sauces?
And tried to get Jeff Goldblum, but of course he did the infamous X thing. Fucker.
He did. What exactly did he do?
So hard.
What exactly did he do to you?
I was 12. They were filming a movie called Fathers and Sons in Spring Lake, New Jersey.
Never even heard of this film.
It's a piece of shit. And I went to see it. We stood outside his trailer, and he comes out, and I say, "Can I have an autograph on a little napkin?" And he just writes X and went back in. And if I ever see him, he's a dead man. You hear me, Goldblum? You're dead.
All right, well, these are the... would you ever pay for one? Because that's the new big thing. Sports memorabilia.
No, I don't think I would ever pay for an autograph.
All right, here's the top 10 right now. Pele's autograph can pick up $1,500.
Wow.
Madonna, $1,600. Elizabeth Taylor, $1,800. Russell Crowe, $1,900. Tied with Russell Crowe, J.K. Rowling, $1,900. Paul McCartney, $2,300. Bob Dylan, $2,600. Tiger Woods, $2,800. Number 2, Steve Jobs, or Jobs, the Apple computer guy.
I never would have thought he was that high up.
One of the reasons is he refuses to sign for anyone. So if you really want to get your autograph up there in the world, don't sign. And number 1, same exact thing. This gentleman stopped signing in 1995. Neil Armstrong, $6,500.
Wow, for a Neil Armstrong autograph.
That seems a little strange. Like, I would have thought Bill Clinton would be in the top 5. I mean,
I got a feeling Clinton would sign for anybody. Probably most of these people don't like to sign autographs.
Yeah, I guess not.
It is really stupid when you think about it. I want you to write your name on a piece of paper so I can take it back and show your name to people.
I used to work for a collectible store, and my brother and I, we were basically autograph hunters for these guys. Sometimes the more you sign, the more your value goes down.
Right.
Well, that's supply and demand. Yeah, that makes.
I mean, like
sense.
A Bill Clinton, he does sign. He'll go to these fundraisers and sign anything. So that's probably why a Clinton autograph is probably low. Let's say, like, Bill Russell would be really high because he never signs for anybody.
Bill Russell won't even sign for other players.
I can't imagine that Michael Jordan has signed a lot because he doesn't need the money. I can't believe he signed a lot.
He had the Nike deal, and he used to have to sign so much when you worked for Nike. He used to sign shirts. He used to sign, I think, balls every day. He used to sign sneakers. So a lot of these guys, sports guys, they make a deal with one company, and then they take like an hour a day, and you're just signing one thing after another, and then those people take that shit away. Now, another thing, too, with the Michael Jordan is you don't know when the black market could have screwed it up of people faking his thing.
Yeah.
So suddenly now, how can you believe that's any one person's thing?
That happened. We knew black market guys. They completely would ruin the market. Let's say when the Mets were really big in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
I knew one guy who worked with Gary Carter. He did Gary Carter's autograph better than Gary Carter did. And there was so many fakes floating the market.
Well, who would you get when you worked for the autograph guys?
Just, whoever were the stars of the day. Like, say, if the Cubs were in town, you wanted Andre Dawson and Ryan Sandberg. Right. Or if the Cardinals...
And what would they give you, Earl? You were a little kid at the time, right?
Yeah, I was like 12, 13 years old.
So this is what bugs people. Some ball player, he's like, he wants to go home and eat. And they're like, oh, why don't you sign for the kid? What's that little black kid do? Take it right back and fucking sell it. So really, you're just trying to make money off the guy. You don't like him. You don't care about him. You're just trying to make a buck. What would the autograph guy throw you?
Probably between $20 and $50 sometimes.
That much?
Yeah. I mean, it was sometime.
And that was 80s money, right?
Yeah, it was 80s money. It depended on the player. Let's say if you got like a Frank Robinson, you got a lot of money because he was a Hall of Famer.
But you see now why these guys could be bugged. I mean, why should somebody make fucking, a couple $100 off you every time they see you? It's got to be annoying.
I think a handshake is better, than an autograph.
Why even shake the guy's hand? Why not just see him and that's plenty enough?
Then you always have, their skin cells on you.
Yes, and they have yours on them. You can understand why people don't like that. Jason, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I get autographs just about every few days of my job. I haul cars for mostly athletes, but quite a few actors. I've got Shaquille O'Neal, the game jersey, right after they won last year. I've got Harrison Ford, Richard Dreyfuss, Bill Mueller from the Red Sox. I've got Sean Merriman gave me his game shoes and a ball.
All right, now let me get this straight. So your job is to deliver them cars, right?
Yeah, they're either they've already owned them and, because of spring training or whatever, they're moving back and forth. They want their vehicles, or it's something they had customized in Miami and they live in California. I take it right to their house.
Besides them paying for it, then you ask for something extra for yourself.
Oh, yeah, I hit them straight up. I'm not shy about it at all. I ask for an autograph, and then they tip really well. Most of them throw out some cash as well. A couple of them seemed perturbed about signing, but, I play them up, tell them what they want to hear, make like I'm a big fan, and then I got a big room at my house just full of all these autographs.
All right, now you see why these guys should be annoyed. I mean, they're already paying for a fucking service. That ain't enough for this guy. He's got to waste their time and make them do extra shit.
I'm sure his boss doesn't know that he's asking these clients for stuff when he shows up.
You think Shaquille should have called his boss afterwards and gone, don't let that fucking weird guy from Texas back in my house. He took one of my shirts.
But you also got to remember, these are the mid-'80s. The players were so much more accessible back then also.
And that's because that the autograph thing hasn't blown up like it has today.
Yeah, when we started doing it, it was still very early. It was still it was still kind of this underground type of thing.
I was reading the thing with Bill Murray, and when he's out golfing, people are asking for shit. They try to hand him clear plastic to sign so that then they can put it over a Bill Murray picture and then sell it. And he's like, no, I'm not fucking signing this shit. You're saying, oh, it's great to meet you, but what you're really now saying is I want $250 for meeting you. I mean, if that's the fucking what it's worth, then he should sit at his house and do it all the time.
And then the easiest way to get around that for the celebrities was always personalize it. Always just write, hey, what's your name? He's like, hey.
Yeah, they don't want you to do that.
They don't want you. You can
they'll ruin it.
Yeah, they'll ruin it if you have to Earl from, Frank Robinson or something like that.
See, I don't think I would want an autograph, but maybe somebody signing their book or, movie script would be kind of cool. I can understand that.
Right, if Quentin Tarantino signed, maybe the cover of Pulp Fiction DVD, I would dig that. But I always think celebrity autographs are sort of weird.
Yeah, they are.
I only think
I would just write X.
But isn't it weird, I think, sports autographs, don't they always seem acceptable, but celebrity autographs are bizarre?
I don't think any of it is acceptable for adults. I think for kids, you get it completely. A kid wants something. But an adult, you shouldn't want anything.
That's Rosie O'Donnell. She won't sign autographs for adults. She'll only sign them for little kids that come up to her.
What little kid wants Rosie O'Donnell's autograph
I
anyway?
can't imagine.
I think that was back when her show was on every day.
Are you taking a Xanax?
No.
All right.
I'm not taking a Xanax today.
I was going to chalk the Rosie O'Donnell thing up to Xanax.
No, nothing.
Okay. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, buddies? It's Rob on Staten Island. I want to know, is it possible to get a Fred autograph?
Oh, yeah, that's the coveted Fez, Ron, Earl, Dave autograph, which we normally refuse to do.
Yeah.
But in your case, yes, we will. We're going to give out a Fred today. Hey, did you ever get us a opening for Fred?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
We do? Mm-hmm. All right, let me take a listen. Because have we done this on the show yet?
We haven't done the open on the show yet.
All right, let me hear.
And now it's time for the Fred recommendations.
So stupid.
That was Fred recommendations.
I'm recommending the new trolley car going through town. Boy, what quick service you get. And all for a nickel.
Alky, how you doing, buddy? Well, let me try him again. Irish Alky, how you doing, pal?
Hey, buddies.
Hey, buddy.
You guys remember the Richard Bay show?
Sure, WLR.
Yeah, Secaucus.
Yeah, they were doing a live show in the mall in Jersey City, and I was like 10 years old, and I used to watch the show, and I waited till the show was over, and I went up and asked him for his autograph, and he signed a little business card and threw it in my face. And Dave, I've held on to it all these years, and after hearing your Jeff Goldblum story, I will see him one day put an X on the back of it and shove it up his ass.
Wow.
Richard Bay was great. He was the really poor man's Morton Downey Jr., remember?
Remember he tried to do Stern's show after Stern left the war? He tried to do the exact same show.
It was terrible.
And he just wasn't Stern. All right, thanks, Alky.
All right, love you, Fezzy.
Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. See that, Fez?
That is nice. I love to hear the stories of the people that admire someone so much they want to get their signature, and as soon as they get an X or a bad experience, then that person is on their most hated list.
Well, can you blame them?
One extreme to the other.
But, I mean, the person did something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's one thing if you just start to hate a celebrity for no reason. But if anyone on your street throws something into your face or, you know, does the thing like they did to this dumb redheaded kid where you just write an X and throw it back at him, it's not the same as not signing. You know, it's not the same as going, oh, I'm on my way or I have an appointment. That's going out of your way to fucking insult.
Yeah, that's totally true because I despise Pete Sampras, but not as much as Jeff Goldblum, because when I saw Pete Sampras, there was no one around him. I was in a tunnel at the U.S. Open, and I asked for his autograph, and he goes, "Not right now, kid," and just walked right past me. Now, I was offended, and I hate him for it, but if I saw Jeff Goldblum today, I think I'd punch him in the stomach.
Did Sampras win or lose?
He won the game, the match, and he blew the fucker out. It was like the second round.
Maybe he had to take a shit. You don't know what was going on in his life.
After a tennis match.
Why not? Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a pilot and we do a lot of celebrities and stuff like that.
Right.
And when the people who are doing a job for them then ask them for an autograph, I mean, can you think of anything more scumbag-ish? I mean, you're doing a job for them, you're providing a service. And then you turn around and you go, yeah, in order to get this car off the truck, we're going to have an autograph. You might as well hold them up.
It is really true. It's asking too much. I got to agree with you. And the thing is, you're in their life. You're fucking, you're part of their life right now. You're interacting. You're providing a service. Why should they give you anything more? Why would you want anything more?
Well, but at what point you don't ask them for that? I mean, you're providing a service, and 9 times out of 10, it's a private service. They didn't have the car delivered or flown on the airline, so being flown so they don't get hassled. And then you I need an autograph. Are you kidding me? I mean, come on now. I mean, how's the
I gotta agree with the same thing. I thought the guy from Texas was a fucking low blow.
Well, he's driving a truck, so what do you expect?
All right. Well, now it's getting a little meaner. All right, thanks, man.
Pilots versus truckers.
Yeah. I never thought we were going to get to that point. Some people have to travel on the surface of the earth. We can't all fly above the clouds.
You're both in transportation.
Here is Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, guys. I got a buddy of mine who went to every Macworld Expo with this one magazine for 2 years.
finally got to Steve Jobs and asked him to sign it. Jobs said no. His girlfriend said, come on, he's had this thing for 2 years. And Jobs said, well, fuck you, that's your problem, isn't it? Turned around and walked away.
I love it.
Why?
I love Steve Jobs for that attitude. Fuck you and your fucking old magazine. You love me, you piece of shit.
So weird. Steve Jobs.
First of all, what has he ever done well? Market. He didn't invent this fucking thing. You think he's sitting around at night going, oh, what am I doing with this iPod? He pays people, they come up with it, and then he sells it. What is that? Why would anyone want that fucking autograph?
I surely wouldn't. I like a president or an athlete or a baseball player. It's really the only two I care about.
Do you have any presidential ones?
Would you want a fucking George Bush autograph?
That's a really good question, and I would say, fuck it, yeah. I don't really like the man, but I want a presidential autograph sometime in my life. So I'll go yes.
All you got to do is give money. They'll send you on the Christmas card list. They send out 1 million.
Those aren't real, though. Those are either done by staffers or, done by computers. That's not real ink.
You wouldn't want you honestly don't want the autograph of a computer.
No, I don't. I want George Bush.
Let me get your computer's autograph.
Any president, because think about it like this. It is living history. I'm into
Razzle Dazzle. It's Board Gossip with Eastside Dave.
A little gossip, a little chat, a little idle talk of this
awful.
and that.
I can't imagine how this fit into the play. I don't understand what Man in La Mancha was thinking then. Here's Dan. Dan, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, I'm an autograph collector, but I'm probably one of the nicer ones.
You sound
where
like
I only get one from each person and never bother that person again, even if I run into them, in a future event.
Well,
and it's got to be specific what I get. Like, I'll get baseball cards, magazine covers, DVDs, CDs, but I won't get it like a napkin or something. So if I run into someone who I don't have an autograph of and don't have a picture to get signed, I won't bother that person to ask.
So how do you have all the spare baseball cards? How does he carry around all the spare memorabilia?
Well, here's what I don't understand when it comes to memorabilia. All right, it's one thing for you to meet Pete Rose and go, I want to have Pete sign this so I can show my friends. But when to go out and buy a Pete Rose autograph when you haven't met him, I don't understand the occasion there. And that's what these fucking collectors do. Oh, look at this, I have a Pete Rose.
It's just having a little bit of Pete Rose, though, in your life.
Why won't you do something cool then, an original? Collect footprints. Just fucking get down, try to work on the footprint. Something that all the other fucking idiots don't have.
What if people could be...
Be a pilot, not a trucker. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Fly above it all.
Look, I had plenty of opportunities to buy a Mantle and a DiMaggio autograph, but I wanted to get one on my own and ended up doing that. It's my most prized possession.
Really?
Autographed Mickey Mantle and an autographed Joe DiMaggio card.
Card? Actual baseball?
Yeah, they had these special. The store I worked for, they had Mantle and DiMaggio come in and do a signing, and they had these special cards made up, and I got Mantle and DiMaggio. But
together,
I got
same card?
Different cards. They came in different appearances. But.
I got a thing that was handed to me from a record guy, and it was all the Beatles signing an album cover. It was the White Album, right? And I went down and ripped Paul's name off the one corner.
Why would you...
I just ripped his name off, because I didn't want anybody to think I was a fag.
What fag? It's Paul.
Didn't it go up in value?
Yes, I believe it did.
It's like number 4 or 5. It's ridiculous.
You think that was a mistake to rip his name off?
Yes.
All right.
It's a big one.
You're going to end up on Board Gossip.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a note.
Jones, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez. What about what little Jimmy does and take a picture with a celebrity?
Yeah, little Jimmy does that with everybody, and when they don't take the picture with him, he fucking loses it. He goes out of his mind. I think that's probably, it makes more sense because it shows you with the celebrity. But let's face it, are you still going to go around and hang that up on the wall? That's fucking ridiculous. What's wrong with having a memory? What is And like the night that you saw Michael Caine eat next to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the fucking cool thing. To act like you belong there with Michael Caine, not to act like you're somehow not worthy and need to prove to people. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. I eat the same joint as Michael Caine. Fuck you.
It's true, but memories fade, you know? I mean, I've met a lot of celebrities. I remember seeing Whitney Houston at FAO Schwartz. I can barely remember it.
So you'd rather have a card?
You
can barely remember it because her celebrity is faded. Because if you came in and told us now, we wouldn't give a shit.
They sell crack at FAO Schwartz?
I'll admit, I'm a loser. There's one picture in my apartment with me in it, and it's with me and Johnny Cash. And I look so silly in it.
Why don't you put up the one with you with Walt Frazier?
I haven't. I'm going to get that printed out. That might be my Christmas card.
I want you to do this. Print it out and have it blown up.
You can't have a Christmas card.
Why can't he?
He's not related. He's not your friend. You're not married to Walt Frazier. That's fucking ridiculous.
Are you saying that Walt Frazier's not cool?
Dude, Christmas card has to be your relatives.
First of all, bro, that's not true. And second of all, Jesus wasn't even born on December 25th. Do whatever you want. There's no fucking tradition. All right, let me get Pitsy in here. I'm going to guess you're a collector, Pitsy.
Yeah, I have some stuff.
I figure for two reasons. One, you're a sports fan. Two, you're from Long Island.
The weirdest thing I ever did was I made Kurt Angle leave my voicemail, my outgoing message on my phone. I met him and I wrote up a whole thing, and he was hysterically laughing. I met him at a book signing, and he left it, and everyone's like, "You're friends with Kurt Angle?" Like, that was the whole gimmick I played with for 2 years about how I was friends with Kurt Angle.
Do you still have it?
No, it was a while ago.
I'd love to hear it. Kurt Angle staying at your house. See, that's at least something different, something unusual.
I knew one of the Warner Brothers record reps. He had Madonna do his phone message. Like,
why try to fucking top Pitsy? Of course, Madonna's a bigger name than fucking Kurt Angle. But why do it? This was his story. It was his place in the sun. Why do you got to go pushing yourself over top of it?
I've got Madonna's new baby doing mine.
He is the topper, by the way. That's what I call him behind his back. You can never tell a story around Earl.
Who do you think is a person who tries to top more, Earl or Fez?
Earl. Fez just has corresponding stories. Earl tries to top you.
All right, so Fez is more of a matcher, and Earl tries to take it up. Yeah. Actually, fucking Fez's story goes lower because I told like this fucking wild story about my brother today. Immediately, Fez has to tell a shitty story about his brother, and I'm like, well, one doesn't have one to do with the other, except for we both have brothers. But you've now attempted to envelope the story for yourself. But Earl, yeah, you will always drop Cash or Dylan.
I can't.
It's not. Yes, you can help it.
I can't help it.
There's no reason to top.
Like we were
at face, Fez. He bottom. It's not the same as relating.
He brought up that diner story one time when I was talking about, like, me, I think, like, Steve Gutenberg or something, and Earl's like, oh, yeah, I met Johnny Cash and have a photo with him.
Right.
And I'm like, great, now I'll just enjoy my stupid meatloaf sandwich.
But here's the people that do it. If you'll ever do a story like, oh, I was so fucking high at this thing. The next guy is like, I was tripping one time, and we were on a fucking plane. We started walking. And, like, you're not fucking relating to me. You're competing.
Yeah.
Now, Fez would took it and go, I had some gum once. And he would fucking torpedo underneath. Pitsy had a little moment in the sun. Let him enjoy it, Earl.
I'm sorry, Pitsy.
And I actually saw Pitsy go like this when he heard the Madonna. Oh. Fuck.
Happens all the time, on and off the air.
I'm starting to pick up on it.
Sometimes it'll go the other way, too. I know with what I've been dealing with this week, I've been getting a lot of emails. Thank you very much, everybody. And then some people will just email me with really horrible stories.
Oh, they're trying to top you.
Of heart problems in their family or people they know. And
yeah, now you know what it's like. These are the toppers.
I know Crazy Jen sent me a long email. I know a little girl in my preschool has a hole in her heart, and she's still going.
Here's our buddy Bobo. How you doing, Bobo?
Hey, buddies. I had a funny thing happen with an autograph where I saw a movie when I was 12 called Astro Zombies, real late at night on TV. Yeah. And it's directed by this guy named T.V. Michaels. So I actually called California Information, got his number and called him up and asked him for an autograph. And the autograph, the photo he sent me is an 8x10 color photo of him naked playing the bongos. And it's autographed to me.
All right, you got to put that online.
Okay.
Put that online. Put it up on ronfez.net. We'll hear about it tomorrow on...
Razzle Dazzle. It's Board Gossip with Eastside Dave.
A little gossip, a little chat.
It does sound like Bobo singing, though.
I love the Man of La Mancha.
Sure, I know you do. You know every obscure, weird thing in the world. We know that.
Because he looks like him.
All right.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you, too.
That's uncomfortable.
As
All right,
much.
thanks.
Okay, bye.
You all right over there, Fezzy? You're rubbing the leg down pretty good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let me go to Keith. Keith, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Ron, how's it going today?
Yeah.
This is Keith Cedar. I'm a Macintosh consultant. I actually partner with Apple, and you are 100% wrong about what you said about Steve Jobs being just a mouthpiece. Apple is going in the crapper about a dozen years ago.
No, I said he's a marketer. A marketer. He's not an inventor.
You're wrong, because he was the one...
All right, here's what you need to do. Read the Steve fucking Wozniak book.
That's Steve Wozniak's take on it. He's been out of it. That was back when they first created the first Macintosh.
Yeah, and you know what fucking Jobs put up? His garage.
Pepsi. When they had the guy from Pepsi running Apple, running it into the ground...
Yes, because you know what that guy was? A marketer, too. It's not the same thing as being an inventor. There are a lot of good business. It's like saying Donald Trump can build a fucking building. He can't. He buys them, he sells them, he markets. That's what he's good at.
Yes, he's good at that, but what he's also good at is creating the ideas. iTunes was Steve Jobs' idea.
Yeah, but did he technically do it, or did he go, this would be a great idea, here you guys go work on it?
He brought Jonathan Ives, who's their industrial designer, into the company.
Thank you. That's not the same thing as being an inventor. That's like going, oh, you know what? I'm the guy who saw Derek Jeter fucking playing minor league ball and brought him to the Yankees. It doesn't make you Derek Jeter.
Dude, I helped Jimmy Norton with his iTunes. Call him. Ask him. He knows I know what I'm talking about here.
I don't give a fuck if you programmed his iTunes. It doesn't make Steve Jobs an inventor.
Call Norton! Call him!
All right, you fucking gave me the trump card. I'm out of it now. See you later, Keith.
Bye, Ron.
See you later.
That was the best. Call Norton. He'll tell you I'm not crazy.
It's not a fucking insult to say to the guy, you're not the guy who invented the fucking home computer. Wozniak is. Period. You're the guy who took it out, marketed from place to place. There's nothing wrong with that job, but it's not the same thing as being an inventor.
I have a lot of ideas, and I can't execute any of them.
Because you have no money.
I have no money, yeah. I don't.
But if you did, if suddenly you had the money to say, all right, let me bring in the right people,
then there'd be a bridge from America to England. Because that's one of my main ideas that I'm working on.
But to me, it's like saying, all right, ELO can like run out the programming. Doesn't necessarily mean that he would do a funny show.
Right.
That's why you don't have the ELO show. So you can't fucking take total credit any more than I can take credit for how XM is doing. It doesn't even make sense at all. Here is Wayne. Wayne, you're on the Ron and Fez show. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, I was talking about getting autographs. I've got one helmet that I have with all the Longhorns that turned pro. And when you go to events and the guys that want to sign it that aren't pro, I won't let sign it because it's only Longhorns. I've been in the pros, and they kind of get offended by it.
So the helmet's just going to keep traveling around forever. It's like the Stanley Cup. Everyone gets their name on it.
Weird. Well, he's saying you got to be a pro. So he won't let the other Longhorns who didn't move on past have it. Here's the deep breather. It's Eddie. Eddie, you're on Ron and Fez.
I was just testing if I was on the phone. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I was in Disney World with my wife, and we saw John Turturro at our hotel. And his kid comes over and is kind of playing around where we are, and he sits down next to us. and he's kind of a cool guy, and we don't realize that it's John Turturro. Neither one of us knew. So he gets up and he kind of walks off, and we're sitting there, we're like, that really looks like John Turturro. So my wife gets up and goes and asks him. He turns into a complete dickhead after we found out who he was, and we tried to ask him for an autograph, and he just avoided us the whole trip.
But see, you were having a good time with him, just being normal people, until you turned into a fan.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know whether he turned into the dick or you did. That's the way to look at it. Hey, Elmer, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's going on, buddies?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, yeah, that guy who called, I guess his name was Keith, that was saying that Steve Jobs is an innovator. He's full of shit. Wozniak was the brains behind that friggin' duo. All that Jobs was doing was, like you just said, Ronnie, he was a marketer.
Right. I mean, and it's not a bad thing to be the guy who knows how to do that. I have no problem with Donald Trump being a marketer and a salesman, but it's not the same thing as being an architect and actually building the fucking building yourself, or being a builder. It's two different jobs. And if I would be fucking interested in somebody, I would be more interested in Thomas Edison, not the guy who turned his ideas into, products. I don't give a shit about that. That's my own thing.
I understand, because you like the artists. You're a guy who likes artists, so inventors are the actual artists.
Thank you.
Whereas Steve Jobs is like the record label.
You know what I would love? Thank you. That's fucking excellent. Maybe I'll send you into the big-ass prize closet.
Yes.
But you know why? Because you got me. You finally got me. Or else, I'll just find myself in the middle of...
prize closet.
What's in the prize closet that Dave would like?
Dave can have a DVD copy of The Breakup, starring Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston from Universal Studios Home Entertainment.
That's too good. I don't want him to get that. We got anything worse?
I didn't finish this breakfast bar.
Take that.
Okay.
Here's our buddy Hard Rock Johnny. Johnny.
Hello, boys.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Yeah.
I'd like to go on record first as stating that my father does not have a baboon heart.
All right.
He doesn't have a girl.
What happened?
But he does not have a baboon heart from the other day.
I thought the way he walked, he had a baboon heart.
So I'm a huge autograph collector.
Yes, we've been to the Hard Rock.
Not for work. Not for work.
No, I'm sure that you've taken more shit off the wall back to your house than anybody. That house of yours must be guitars. There's Elvis's fucking Cadillac there.
Just rock pants everywhere.
No, I've been a collector for years, and it kills me at work because I meet so many people, and I can't do a thing about it.
Because you're working.
Yeah, I can't. I never mix it. Even before I worked here, I worked in a hotel, and all the hockey teams used to stay there who played the Devils. Couldn't get a thing.
Right.
I got Wayne Gretzky sitting in the lobby. I drive Mike Richter to a game. I can't do a thing, and it just used to kill me.
All right, so that guy from Texas who delivers the cars, he's totally wrong to go out of their way and then ask for something, right?
I think so. I mean, it's just their personal opinion. I mean, I just... Sometimes guys will leave something for you, I mean, if they know, but it sucks, because, I mean, I spend time with these people and you never get it.
But when you're providing a service for someone, when you're the restaurateur, when you're working as a plumber, you're supposed to be taking care of that person, making that person's experience good.
Absolutely.
We're all in a service in one way or another to each other at different times of our life. So, the thing is, all this guy fucking cares about is his car. Now you're asking him to go up to the closet and grab his old game jersey? It's asking too much.
Yeah, it is. And it's, it does. It bothers me. But, one of my best ones that I have a Willie, Mickey, and the Duke ball that I got signed by all of them personally at a Cub Scout dinner years ago that my father paid some money for, and I went, and then back in the day before everyone was charging for autographs.
Yeah.
And then, so those things, when you do get them, are, it's like that prized possession. It's great.
I want to see you in a Cub Scout uniform.
No, I was never a Cub Scout.
Johnny, your father got the first baboon heart. Fezzy is feeling depressed on the... Oh, I can't believe it, but week-long anniversary of his heart attack. I think it's kind of normal, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've never had a heart attack, and I'm still worried I'm going to have one any day now. So
well, I'm worried about you, too.
But, it bothers me on a daily basis. So,
yeah.
I mean, now, Fezzy, you'll snap out of it.
Now, when do you start worrying about it? On your way to the 10th fucking potato skin?
I usually after dinner, as I dig into my ice cream bowl. That's true.
All right, Johnny.
Dessert can be scary.
Goodbye, boys.
I love you, brother, man.
Love you, too. Bye.
Peace. God, how much stuff you think he stole from the Hard Rock over the years? I swear to God. He probably goes home and he's trying on Fleetwood Mac's fucking clothes.
He's got a lot of Jim Morrison stuff. That Hard Rock Johnny, I know that.
Yeah, I know he does too.
But he's right about the services. I delivered, I just remembered this. I delivered flowers to Peter Criss. I used to deliver flowers before.
No, what fucking idiot is sending Peter Criss fucking flowers?
It was his wife.
Yeah.
Sent him flowers, and I delivered it to him. I didn't ask for an autograph or anything. The funny thing is, he looked at me like he wanted me to ask him for an autograph. Because, you know, he wanted it, some attention, but...
Did he have the makeup on when he answered the door?
No, he was very small.
Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Ron?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I was going to say, I kind of have the opposite story that you guys do. I was at the tail end of a motorcycle event in L.A., and Jay-Z was partying in a club, and he wanted everybody to clean out of the room. And as I started to walk out, he grabbed me by my arm, and his whole little group did, and I thought I offended him somehow, but he's like, no, you guys stay here and party with me. And then it was me and another friend, and then...
Would you guys have to blow?
No, none of that.
Okay. Because normally that's how celebrities like to hang out with you.
Do what?
No, nothing. Joe, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
I got turned down by Billy Crystal in a movie theater in Long Beach where he's from. We were all ripping on him, you know, we were yelling, Billy, Billy, while we was trying to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And then after we got out of the theater, we decided to go up to him like, hey, you know, just joking around. And we asked him for an autograph. And he says, what do you think I am, a fucking idiot? And he walked out. I felt like such an asshole.
I like his gimmick, though. What am I, a fucking idiot? After the way you treated me?
Doesn't have much of a sense of humor, though.
I saw Billy Joel said that he went to a Yankees game one time, and the fucking people, the guys behind him, kept singing Honesty. Honesty! Like his worst fucking song. Just trying to ruin his day. Hey, Matt, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ronnie, I just wanted to share my story. I grew up a huge Kansas City Royals fan, and George Brett was my idol, and I went to a press conference about 10 or 12 years ago, and I was only like 16 years old, so you could tell I was a kid. And the press conference is over, everybody rushes in, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
He grabs my paper, he scratches his name on it, he sticks it back in my chest like a forearm, just hard. And I was so dejected. I mean, you could tell I was still a kid. So my brother's like, let's wipe our ass with it. So I wiped my ass with it and put it under the windshield of his 1979 brown Mercedes that was parked right in front of our car by the stadium. Wiped our ass, put it right on the windshield, left. It was the best day of my life.
Even though moments before he had been your hero.
Moments before he shattered me.
Yeah.
Shattered me. I mean, every game I'd been to as a kid wanting to get third base seats so I could see George Brett. Every birthday I went to a game. It was like just, and it killed me. But then as soon as I did it on the windshield, it all went away.
Yeah, it all felt better.
It was the greatest day of my life.
All right, peace.
Yeah.
But he gave the autograph.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't like the way he did it. Pete Rose gave me and my buddies the finger when we were little, and we fucking loved it. We were just fucking ripping them right during the workouts, and he goes around and just puts his finger down next to his fucking leg, like, fuck you guys. He didn't want to stick it out there, you know, so he just gave us a short finger, and like, we were fucking ape shit. We were so fucking happy. You fucking suck, Rose! You fucking blow! You can't hit the ball out! Just fucking going nuts at him. But any acknowledgement at all, it was like, it made our life.
The joy of getting in his kitchen.
Well, I remember when McCartney was playing Florida when he was doing the stadium tour down there, and somebody from our radio station went there and did some interview, and then asked him to do some fucking promos, and it was like, you know, when I'm in Florida, Ron and Ron, and he goes like this, no, those are the assholes that are playing the fucking thing of my wife, and he wouldn't play it, right? He wouldn't do the promo for us, because we played the Linda McCartney thing that was going around. So I fucking called up my brother and told him, he's going, fuck, Paul McCartney knows who you are. This is fucking great. Like, it didn't matter that he went, no, fuck those guys. Just, hey, he's fucking heard about you. This is perfect. Remember that bit, Earl? I don't know who did it. I guess the sound guy pulled off her singing Hey Jude, and it was just hideous.
Was it the Neb word Nebworth Festival, I think.
I think it was Nebworth in 1990, and I guess the sound guy, you could isolate all the mics.
Yeah.
He isolated her mic, which was supposed to be off.
Which could have just about happened to anyone. You know what I mean? Like, if not heard in the context of what's going on.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see this review in Jersey of your man?
No, I didn't.
Axl Rose. Yeah. Fez, you got that over there?
Yeah, I got that from the Star Ledger, New Jersey Star Ledger.
Mike the teacher writes for the Star Ledger.
It's a great paper.
Just talking about some of the songs that Axl went into. Live and Let Die, all spectacle without the humor. He called Axl doing Knocking on Heaven's Door grim karaoke.
Jesus Christ. Who did this?
This is from
Black.
Bradley Bambarger on the New Jersey Star Ledger. He said, used to love her, but I had to kill her. Sounds like edgy black humor back in the 80s. It just sounds ugly now. Slash was so missed, especially during November Rain, when the guitar solo drizzled rather than stormed.
Oh, that's stupid. This is ridiculous.
I love this review.
No, it's bullshit. Fucking envious, petty bullshit.
The years have not been kind to Axl's voice. Here's my favorite. Sweet Child of Mine brought to mind Adam Sandler's Saturday Night Live parody.
Shut up. This is whatever. I get to see him on Friday. I'll judge for myself. Madison Square Garden.
Don't even go.
I'm going, baby. I don't care.
Where did he see the show at?
Let's see where this one was at.
Probably Continental Airlines Arena. He's playing arenas. And if it's sort of a Jersey paper, I would assume that.
It says the Meadowlands crowd. Did he play the Meadowlands, I guess?
Yeah, Continental Airlines is in the Meadowlands. Whatever. That, you know, Ronnie, there's a lot of critics out there who are jealous because they don't have the magic that Axl Rose has.
It says his vocals are a mannered mix of squeals and growls now.
People get older. Their voices get scratchier. So what? Big deal. Axl Rose's voice is a little scratchier, but it's still fucking cool as hell.
He also talked about I guess some of the stuff he did from Chinese Democracy.
Yeah, great song.
Was awful. That stuff was horrible, he said.
I disagree with that because I have him right there on my computer.
I think we got him singing Sweet Child of Mine. And I think his voice has gotten weaker over the years. This is him, I guess, live. Okay. Axl Rose.
What the fuck is this? This isn't Axl Rose. This is not Axl Rose. Don't screw around. This isn't him. Keep on laughing. Everyone mock out Axl.
He does need Slash.
This is not Axl Rose. I know that. It's Sheldon Rose.
Guns N' Roses live, Madison Square Garden.
Bullshit.
Band sounds good.
No, this is not Guns N' Roses.
Good orchestra.
Not them, though.
Oh, beautiful.
It's not him.
And who has been seen singing Guns N' Roses songs? I think it's Axl.
Whoever this is, I don't care for the piano or mandolin.
Better.
That's the new GNR.
Come on, get the frisbee going.
No, I'm not. This is bullshit.
Bounce the baseball.
Axl's gonna tear it up. November 10th, baby.
I really do like the new band.
Well, this isn't it. I'll get him a copy. I'll get you a copy of the new band.
Yes, I miss Slash here. When they replace Slash with the orchestra. Hey, John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, buddy.
I don't know if Dean's getting all up in arms, but isn't it known fact that Axl Rose has never had a good live singing voice?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he did have a distinct voice on the CDs. It was great. Came out, recorded in the studio, but live, he never did it live.
Not true at all. Not true at all. Try it.
Listen to him here.
This is good. Sucks.
Go, Axl.
Razzle Dazzle. It's Board Gossip with Eastside Dave.
A little gossip, a little
Who got destroyed in the Jersey Star Ledger? Could it be a Mr. A. Rose?
The Star Ledger, they titled this review "A Long Late Night with Axl Rose," and then at the end compared it to a Barbra Streisand concert.
Wow, them. Bill, you're on Ron and Fez. Hey, Bill.
Hey, it's a deal. Hello.
Yes, what can we do for you?
I had tickets to see Guns N' Roses last night in Portland, Maine, and they canceled an hour before the show. I was so pissed.
Well, you got to see him in New York, Bill.
How do you know that he's going to show up?
He always shows up for New York City shows.
This is what he's known for.
He loves the Big Apple.
Here is Bill. Bill, you're on Ron and Fez.
29-875, my brother.
Hey, my brother boy.
Hoo-ah! The true genius in Guns N' Roses is Slash. Back, I guess it was about 2 years ago, Velvet Revolver played the Electric Factory in Philadelphia, and as the road crew set up everything, they brought out Slash's top hat. The place went freaking bananas. A standing ovation for a top hat. First time I've ever seen that.
Wow.
So what? If they brought out Axl's kilt that he wore circa 1992, you'd see just as big a reaction.
Hey, Dave, we got audio of Axl. You know he's a big McCartney fan. And
yeah.
You got him singing Hey Jude.
Oh, great. Let's listen to Axl
all right.
sing a little Hey Jude.
That'd be cool.
Up.
Great, Linda McCartney. I believe this was on her deathbed. That girl was missing more than just a leg. Well, that was Axl. It seems like you hate to hear Axl being attacked. He just doesn't have it anymore. What's the big deal?
He does. People's voice mature. No one's going to sound the way they did when they were 25. He's mature, he's older, he's wiser, he's better.
Here's O'Brien, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, buddy? Fag holder number 33. Hey.
Hey.
Was wondering if Axl brought his boyfriend, Lance Armstrong, on stage.
Yeah, did that happen?
No, it's not. They're not going out
anymore. They broke up?
No, they never
what
were
happened?
going out there.
Yeah. I want to hear about it in Board Gossip.
Very heterosexual. No.
Who has been dating Axl Rose?
Razzle Dazzle. It's Board Gossip with Eastside Dave.
A little gossip.
Who's been biking over that?
Chat. A little idle talk of...
Here's, it's our good buddy and favorite caller. It's the Turtle. Hey, Turtle.
Fuck you.
Hey, Turtle.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
In that audio, Axl Rose sounds almost as queer as Eastside Dave.
Go ahead. Hang up. Go ahead. Always the same thing, Johnny. Hit lately.
What's that?
Johnny hit lately. Gang fire. He's like are you the Crips or the Bloods? Boom, boom, drive by.
Seriously, Turtle is probably my favorite caller right now.
He absolutely isn't.
You know why? He doesn't spend too much time on the phone. He gets in, says something hysterical, and then he gets out.
I don't think they're funny ever.
You know, normally when I get a great call like that, I like to go right to break. Ron and Fez show.
Ron and Fez, XM 202.
It's the Ron and Fez show. Guess wrapping this one up with us. Mikey Boy is here, Fez.
Mikey Boy, who I found out is the brain behind the Fez Watley posse.
He's got his minion, Photoshop Mike, hanging in here.
Yep.
And then, by the way, I tried with the walk over the break. Couldn't make it happen for myself. We also have Swissy here, Swiss Miss.
I'm here.
Very good friend of ours. And we found out some exciting news. You've got a TV shot coming up.
Yes, I'm a very big celebrity.
What are you going to be doing?
I am a bada bing girl in the upcoming season of Sopranos.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, who did you do scenes with?
There's one scene with just Tony Soprano and myself, and I'm dancing for him, and then this woman comes into the bar and starts a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And when she leaves, I step closer to him and continue dancing, and we have, he says a couple rude things to me.
Like what?
There were so many takes, there were so many scenes, because every scene...
Change it up a little bit?
Oh my goodness, yeah. There were a lot of them.
So what were you wearing?
The first time I went, I think I had, it's a black G-string with little flowers on the front of it, like red flowers, and I was topless, and I had just loose light heels. And then the second time that I had gone, I think I had a plaid G-string, and then the third time it was like a little plaid, kind of like a ska skirt.
Yeah, and it was a plaid G-string, which... it's odd.
It was kind of it was kind of like punkish. It was really kind of
Roddy
cute.
Piper makes his wife wear one of those.
As he should.
Yeah.
There's my song. Yeah, I'm really excited.
I can't wait.
have to.
Do you know when it's the season?
I don't know. There's a blonde girl with bangs. I'm not her.
Okay.
All right, because our bodies look very different, and I don't want anybody to make that mistake. If you're watching this, I don't have bangs. I'm just gonna say that.
All right, I want you to do us a favor so we can do a soundboard, Swiss, and we're gonna need you to read some of these titles.
Of course.
Photoshop Mike brought us a garage full of porn. Just read this one off nice and loud into the mic.
Cock-jammed co-eds.
Okay. Is that a keeper or you need it again? I'll just run that one again.
Cock-jammed co-eds.
Very nice. Try this one.
Giant cock.
Perfect. Here you go.
Ooh. Fuck study.
One more time on that one.
Fuck study. Oriental fuck sluts. Massive cum facials.
Nice.
Black chicks who love white dicks. We have, please ream me. This is a good one. 100% small sluts, midget madness.
Sure.
Fuck sandwich. Watch as every hole gets plugged full of cock.
Give me another read on that one, please, would you?
Fuck sandwich. Watch as every hole gets plugged full of cock.
All right, thank you. How about reading this? This is all the DVDs that we were brought today.
This is like 1/10 of them. There's so many.
Oh, yeah.
Black Hoedown.
Black Hoedown.
Black
All right, here you go.
Cram my cunt. 2 hours of pussy pounding. This is a good one.
Oh,
this
good.
is no holes left unfucked. These sluts get penetrated in every way.
Oh, you got another one, Fez?
No. Where huge white meat. Come on my ass.
These are all. This because I want to keep all this stuff straightened out so we know what our DVDs are.
Fresh, hot man juice. Cock hungry.
Little John is fanning himself.
Where is this? Pounding teen pussies.
Odd thing is, I was up for a role in that, which was really strange.
Wild and extreme pussy party.
Fez, you want to read some of the ones that were for you?
Sure. Let's see. Boy cock hungry.
What was that last one?
Boy cock hungry.
All right, what else do you have?
Up that man ass.
Give us a double read on these, would you, Fez?
Up that man ass?
Thank you. That way we know we can use either one. I'll try one of yours.
Cum-soaked cuties.
Big ball boys.
I'm looking.
Just give us a double read, would you, Fez? Because, first he's trying to make sure he's got the levels down.
Big ball boys.
Swim class gets me wet.
Say that again.
Swim class gets me wet.
Meet Mr. Cum.
What?
Meet Mr. Cum.
How do you spell meat in that?
M-E-A-T.
Oh, that's stupid. Meet Mr. Cum.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, yeah, good.
It won't fit.
That's all I've ever wanted to hear.
Ow.
Bare bottom boys. Bare bottom boys. Bare bottom boys?
You've lost it. You don't even know where to read.
Bare bottom boys.
Yeah, you don't even know where the read is right now.
I like this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stretch my cute little ass.
Like that.
Stretch my cute little ass, Phil. It's like they shoot these at the same time or something.
Dong show. Come here often? Yeah, if Kathy doesn't have a headache. If you get that, that's a little...
Actually, put Dong show in my bag, because that seems like it's good for some laughs.
Man stank. Man stank.
Dave, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, finally, Gay Fezzy is back, huh?
Yeah.
This chick, man, she's got to read the rest of the fucking day. I'm definitely getting some blood in the pig. Great job.
All right, thank you very much.
That could help.
Yeah, it's always nice to hear you're getting blood in the pig. So you're doing that for the fellas. By the way, Swissy is a bada bing girl. You will see her this year on HBO. Is the excitement level getting up, Fez, now that we're getting back close to this?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think people are going to be getting the Sopranos fever.
I have it.
Here's John. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm driving my big truck in North Carolina. I had a good wood going until I heard Fez start reading, and now...
And then you blew your load. I got you. I understand, buddy. Why don't you save it, Fez, so he doesn't get too excited too fast?
Carolina cocksuckers.
Whoa.
Carolina cocksuckers?
All right. Why does it always go to a question? You know it's a statement either way. Then you're confused on the second read.
Carolina cocksuckers.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah.
Lights, camera, suck his dick.
I have that same one.
Oh, do you?
That's from my pile.
Is it?
His has a different cover, though.
Oh.
Yeah. Same thing. Though.
Okay.
Same script. It just
Come cuties caught on campus. Loads of young hot scenes. Get it, Lowe's?
Yeah, I get it. It's really witty. They're so witty in the adult business. Here's Dave. Dave, you're on Ron and Fez.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I just wanted to be the first one to say that I missed on board Swiss Miss before this whole fucking thing blows up.
Thank you very much, because it is going to blow up. Swissy.
Young co-eds in heat.
Soundboard Swiss. Here's Jim. Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
I was just going to call and say you better keep Eastside Dave out of the fucking bathroom.
No. He's spanked everywhere.
He has.
Have you spanked here, has he?
Don't spank here.
No, he's shaking his head no, but I'm not sure if I believe him.
He and little Johnny are leaning at each other, staring, and one of you guys is supposed to be on the phones. You're both off the phones, so you can fucking keep this in your head for later. This is work.
Those titles are, she's saying them pretty nice. How are the descriptions in some of those movies?
I'm saying them well.
Yeah, she's doing them all.
The descriptions, they're really, it just...
Here's Steve. Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hiya, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man, I need to know if Swiss Smith has a website to plug or something. Jesus Christ, she sounds hot.
Yeah, she's unbelievable.
I have like a MySpace, but that doesn't count, does it?
Sure. Yeah, go
does
ahead
it?
if you want to give it out.
Swiss Miss 88 for MySpace.
What are you doing to MySpace?
What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, you're meeting people, you're...
No, not really.
Yeah.
I just, it makes me feel better about myself to have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really don't have any kind of like a self-esteem. So the more friends that I have on there, it makes me feel better about myself.
You have problems with self-esteem?
Oh, yeah.
Shut the fuck up. See, that's just my thing. That's just my thing.
That sounds like my dad.
Yes, it will. A little later on, we're going to play, Hey, Why Are You Sleeping In Here Tonight? And there's certain games we're going to be, doing. Aren't You Up Too Late? I have a million of them. It's terrible. Here is Sean. Sean, you're on Ron and Fez. How you doing, buddy? Sean.
Yeah, where can we find DVDs on eBay for sale?
Yeah, do you want to plug your little eBay?
Sure. You have to go to eBay, just check out by seller, and I use my real name there, so check it out. It's Michael Scardillo, MichaelScardillo. I'm selling them in lots of 100, less than $1 a piece, and shipping's pretty cheap. I'm just trying to blow them out,
Lots of 100.
Well, a big case of 100, yeah.
Who doesn't need 100 pornos?
100 pornos.
And $98.
You use your real name for the porn sales.
Well.
And your fake name for the stupid Fez stickers. Interesting.
This is a good one. Naked Outdoors, Volume 3.
Yeah.
True Confessions of a Jet Ski DP Slut. Super Fat Cocks.
Let's read that one again. I didn't get it.
Super Fat Cocks.
Now do it again, but while you're crying.
Super Fat Cocks.
What are you afraid of?
You, Daddy.
Oh. That's just awful.
I'll be good.
Here is Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez. Chris, how you doing, buddy? Yeah.
Hi. Get Swiss Miss to act like she's banging Earl, like, oh, Earl, no, Earl. And keep her on the soundboard after. I love her voice. She's amazing.
Chris, why do you want to hear a hot woman talking to Earl? What is wrong with you?
Just so every day I can hear Earl cry.
What's your name?
All right, let me hear the way you want her to say it.
Oh, Earl, oh, baby, oh, like she's climaxing,
All right, do it again, because I can't quite hear you.
What? Like, Earl, oh, baby, get up my butt, take my ass,
I didn't hear that last one. Would you do it again and make it even dirtier, because I want Swissy really to understand how to say it.
I can't. I'm running out of imagination here. She's so hot. Believe me, I'm driving for the last 2 hours there. I have a hard on, so...
Yeah, try to...
see her face.
Yeah, try to get her to say you want the really as dirty as you can, so she can say it to Earl. Explain to her.
Oh, Earl, oh, baby, baby, That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I guess it is. Well, Earl, you have a boyfriend. Thank you very much, Chris.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, listen tomorrow for Soundboard Chris. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll get a good kick out of him.
When we play the new bit, what's Earl thinking about right now?
Derek, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, man, Michael, man, I can't get to eBay. You gotta send them to my house. I will send you a check.
Yeah, why don't you do this?
Yeah, wait on that check.
Yeah, why don't you do this?
You know what?
Wait out next to the mailbox.
Maybe something
will come.
If you want, go to it's myspace.com/The Watley Posse.
Yeah.
Hey.
Send me a message from that, and I'll get in touch with you. I have more cases that I didn't put up on eBay.
Do not
attach my name.
I'm a truck driver, man, and you know how much I could sell these on the fucking truck stop for?
More power to you.
Plus, I keep few myself, and plus, I'd like her to pee in my mouth if she would.
Oh,
another Norton.
Yeah. It's really none of our business. Yeah. Here's Tennessee Note. Tennessee Note, you're on Ron and Fez.
Pee in my mouth. That's great.
Thank you.
That's it?
You're on the air.
Hey.
Yeah.
Fez, Ron, I love you, buddy.
Thanks, pal.
Yeah, you know what? I really didn't like you at first, but I'm hooked now. And
well, this is all it took, wasn't it?
You know what?
Earl porn.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
Black Girl. I don't know about the Black Rock Coalition. You know, I'm Tennessee Note here, Rebel Flag. Blah blah blah.
Are you driving, Tennessee?
No, I'm drinking. And
Well, why don't you do me a favor? Call me from a payphone.
I don't have 25 cents.
Yeah, well, hop in the car, drive as fast as you can to a payphone, give me a call back. You got any more for us?
Let me...
If you run out, you just make up some titles, too, you know.
Okay, let's see.
Ebony Prison Break.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ebony Prison Break.
Here's, Kubi. Kubi, you're on Ron and Fez.
Yeah, it's Kirby. You guys can't understand me. But anyway.
I could.
I think Swiss Miss should sign some of the pornos, and maybe they could go for more and make Mike some money.
Swiss, you ever think about getting into that? Maybe just softcore? A little softcore action?
No. I mean, I never actually thought of making it a career.
No.
I mean, it's something fun to do on the side, but...
You're an actress, though. I mean, you've been in The Sopranos now?
Yes, I'm a very good actress.
Yeah. So, maybe this is a way.
Yeah, I mean, I get why, sir. Do you think that I would have a promising career?
Yeah, I definitely think you would.
Okay.
Eastside, you have a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Think of her instead of that look that you have on your face. Seriously.
I have to be in here for professional reasons, and I'm not just staring at Swiss Miss for no reason whatsoever.
You remind me of
There's
Kevin...
a reason you're staring at me.
You remind me of Kevin Bacon in that movie that he raped all the little boys in. It's just fucking... It's a disgusting look you've got going on.
I love that movie.
That's actually a home movie of his.
Sleepers.
You are really in here for a reason? Oh,
Eastside Dave, looking at him, it's like trying to stare into the Krypton sun.
Right,
it's so bright red.
Now, Fezzy, look, he's adjusting himself.
He really is.
Don't fucking do that. There's other guys here.
He was touching his helmet.
Yes.
I really just saw that. Oh, God.
Say that again.
He was just touching his helmet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got a good one.
I'm actually not sure if I can be in here.
Yeah, go ahead, read the next one.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome, lovers of fresh, ripe pussy. We have a lineup of sweet, juicy snatch that will leave your dick hard enough to cut diamonds. Each girl is filmed as they began their hot sexual adventures. Carefree, unspoiled, and extremely horny. Their panties are wet. Their panties are down. They're ripe for the pickin'.
This is exactly what would have happened if the Nazis would have won the war.
You're damn right.
This is what radio would have sounded like.
And you only brought one German porn.
Yeah.
I'll look for some more. If I find any, I'll send them back.
Aryan chick talking dirty for 3 hours.
Achtung, Juden.
Do that one again, yeah.
Achtung, Juden. That was hot.
Yes, that one worked for me.
And frightening.
Yeah.
Ron and Fez.